to Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Last night, the Golden State Warriors adjustments proved to be too much for the Lakers as they steamrolled LA 127-100. Rack up another one because Thursday's victory marks the 16th consecutive time that a team dropped Game 1 of a playoff series at home bounced back to win Game 2. A blistering Klay Thompson shot 8 of 11 from deep and dropped 30 hot ones. Series tied 1-1 as the California foes have a date at the Crypt tomorrow with tip-off slated for 5:30. Tonight on the playoff docket, Boston skips over to Philly, series also tied 1-1, and Denver heads to the Valley for Game 3 against Phoenix. Nuggets have commanded that series so far, 2-0 on the Suns. And finally, the A's visit the Royals to open up a 3-game series beginning at 5:15, and the Giants are all set to host the Brewers tonight at 7:15.
It's going on tonight.
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Welcome in to Cattles and Ramie.
Not the boring, generic milquetoast stuff coming from the network in Connecticut.
I describe him as the best, obviously.
Cattles.
He throws it out there, speaks his mind. That's cool.
And Ramie.
He's supposed to make people laugh. He's just an expert at it.
Cattles and Ramie. Live and local in the afternoon.
Sactown Sports.
Happy Friday indeed. Hello, everybody.
Yes,
Thanks for
sir.
joining us as always. It is much appreciated. He's Ramie. I'm Cattles.
You are.
We got Kyle and Simone behind the glass today. Should be a good one. Should be a good Friday. Getting ready to talk a lot of Kings. We'll mix in some other NBA stuff.
I'm going to try not to get on your nerves today.
Impossible. That'll last about 3 minutes. If that.
I just feel like I made it hard for you. I made work hard for you.
What do you
yesterday.
have, regrets?
No, not at all. I thought it was hilarious. I'm just saying. Lisa gonna dunk on you.
It was good. It was good. It was challenging, but it was good. It was good. Hopefully everybody
So
enjoyed it. All right, let's start with the Kings, Ramie. So Domas is extension eligible this offseason. And we go back to Chris Biederman, who we had on the show yesterday, and here he was and his thoughts about Domas, the series against the Warriors, and how that could change some things moving forward.
Yeah, I do think that's a big question. And part of me, too, wonders, like, were the Warriors just a bad matchup, right? Because we've seen the Warriors play a lot of centers off the floor throughout their run, their championship run in the playoffs. Like, that's just sort of what they typically do. But, they even did it to Nikola Jokic to a certain extent during the first round of last year's playoffs. But, if you're going to beat the Warriors, and who knows how much longer the Warriors are going to be at this level, right? It's going to take a center who plays better defense typically and protects the rim, and that's just not the type of player Domantas Sabonis is. When the Warriors were scoring, I remember Game 5, they shot close to 67% on twos, in large part because they were just sort of parading to the rim and had a lot of open layups, right? And a lot of that has to do with Domantas Sabonis' defense. He can improve in that area, and he can absolutely improve in his shooting. But part of me, like, is it just a Warriors-specific matchup thing, or are other teams going to approach defending Sabonis the same way?
So Chris Biederman, sharing some hesitancy, some caution about Domas, his future, and after watching that series against the Warriors, saying there are questions to be answered. And when you look at this possible extension, Anthony Slater wrote about it in The Athletic, his offseason preview for the Kings, and here's what he wrote. Sabonis, the older co-star, entering the final year of a contract that will pay him $19.4 million next season. Creates a tricky negotiation in regard to his next deal. The new CBA will tick up the amount you can offer in a veteran extension from a 20% raise to a 40% raise. So the Kings could now offer Sabonis a 4-year extension worth around $121.6 million. The starting salary would be $27.1 million. Should Sabonis wait until he is an unrestricted free agent next summer, his max contract could start around an estimated $42.2 million.
That's $15 million more.
Extend 5 years and make him substantially more over the course of the deal. Look, it's a no-brainer for Domas, obviously.
Yes.
You know, you want to make $27 million a year, or do you want to make $42 million a year?
Unless you have doubts about yourself, or you're scared, you're worried about injury, and you have the old, a bird in the hand philosophy.
Right.
But I think most guys who've made it as far as Domas have are more than willing to bet on themselves and take that risk and maybe make $60 million more dollars.
If you're looking through strictly a financial prism, it's a no-brainer. You wait, you make all that money. You would imagine that the Kings will offer that 4-year deal at $121.6 million this offseason, or maybe they won't. If you were the Kings, Ramie, would you put that deal on the table for Domas after seeing the series against the Warriors?
Hell yeah. I could save $60 million plus over the course of the deal instead of doing it next year. If Domas would take it, I'm putting that contract down on the table right now and sliding in one of those really nice pens they gave Lamar Jackson to sign his contract with. Yes, absolutely. I'm not out on Domas, man. You know what I mean? And if I can get him at a bargain, I absolutely take it. I was disappointed with what I saw in the playoff series. All right, but I'm not gonna just throw out 82 games of what that guy did, and with half of that being with a broken hand. We have to factor that in as well. Look, man, is he a physical presence and a guy who's going to fix their problems around the rim when it comes to defense and everything else? No, I think he's a decent defensive player and he can help you there. He's a great facilitator. He's a better shooter than most big men, whether you're talking about a 4 or a 5, although there are more 4 and 5s in the NBA today that can shoot it pretty well than there have been in past eras. But he's a good enough shooter. He can run your offense for you literally coast to coast.
Right.
You can run it through him in a half court offense. Yeah, man. I'm still in on Domas, and especially if he's willing to sign a contract this year and give you a bargain compared to what it would be next year. Absolutely, I do that in a heartbeat.
Look, if you're in a situation like the Kings, you want to lock up your top talent that wants to stay, right? I mean, if they have a desire to stay here in Sacramento, then you do what you got to do to lock them up. And you got to remember the cap is going up as well. That's how this thing works, right? But let me play the devil's advocate position. Sure. Again, I'm playing devil's advocate, everybody.
This Nick doesn't want Domas.
If you were the Kings, is waiting and seeing the worst.
I already did. I already said I wasn't going to.
Is waiting and seeing the worst idea after that Golden State series? Is it the worst idea to wait and see what Domas looks like next season? I don't think it's the worst idea.
Well,
how is he going to react to what just happened to him?
If I'm Monty McNair, I would probably think the way that you think, because either way, it's going to be the same slice of the pie when you talk about the salary cap. You know what I mean? Because the cap goes up, his salary goes up. It's not going to make Monty McNair's job any harder to put together a roster if you do it next year compared to this year, and it's not his money. You know what I mean? If I'm Vivek and I can save $15 million a year or more over the course of the contract,
right?
Yeah, let's sign this dude right now. That's my actual money that's coming out of my pocket. Let's do it right now.
But again, the argument to that, just playing devil's advocate, the argument to that is, well, what if you sign him for $27 million a year, and then he looks more like Domas from the postseason than he does Domas from the regular season? Are you thrilled with paying that guy $120 million the next 4 years if he looks like that? That's the question. You know, you have to hope, to me, that Keegan's growth, if that is the case, develops quickly and he becomes that kind of guy that you can really, really depend on. You know, I think it would be interesting to give Monty a shot of truth serum and see if he would be ultimately comfortable with paying Domas the $27 million right now a year. I think he would be. He traded Tyrese Halliburton for him. I would imagine that Monty would be okay with it. But there's got to be, even if it's 5%, Ramie, 10%, there's got to be that doubt in the back of the mind of everybody wondering, is Domas going to come back, be aggressive, be assertive, or are we going to see this offense look the same the way it looked in stretches against the Warriors? Now, of course, you got an offseason, you can add pieces, but that has to at least be in the back of your mind.
You wouldn't be doing your job if you didn't consider that possibility.
That's my point.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I think you weigh it against the possibility that he's all NBA again or close to that, and then he hits free agency. And the LAs of the world and the New Yorks and the Brooklyns and the Phoenix Suns of all these teams start coming after your guy. You know what I mean? Not to mention, while he's doing that all season long, people are coming to your coach, to Domas, to his teammates. Hey, what do you think about this Domas contract situation? You know, and it's something that hangs and looms over this franchise over the course of a season. The better he plays, the bigger that question mark gets about, will Domas be a King next year? You have to weigh what you're considering, Nick, versus that possibility that this guy is going to play just as well as he did last year, if not better.
Right.
That teams are going to come after him with big bucks and big promises about what they could do for him in his career.
Right.
That it's going to be a cloud looming over your team over the course of a season. I think the likelihood of that happening is much larger than the likelihood that he's playoff Domas for an entire season.
You just have to be supremely comfortable and confident, because if you sign Domas to that contract, and let's say, again, this is devil's advocate, let's say that he was exposed against Golden State, and we will see that continue next year, the year after. Now you paid a guy a lot of money, and he's not the same guy he was for that, 82 game stretch this year. And now that's going to inevitably handcuff you when you try to bring in another big name to go along with Fox, because you realize that Domas wasn't that big name. It's interesting, but I agree with you ultimately. I think you sign the deal if Domas was willing to do it, you offer it and you get it done. But just to play devil's advocate, there is another side to that. And the argument is, well, maybe Domas is more like the Golden State guy moving forward than he was the All-NBA guy that we saw. Your thoughts? 916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone number is 1-800-920-1140. You can join us on YouTube, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Give us that thumbs up. It's always appreciated. We ask you, any hesitancy from you putting on the table an extension for Domas this offseason, 4 years, $120+ million. Would you hesitate, or would you just pull the trigger and not even think about it? Your thoughts on that, we'll get to those. Also, what's this Kings bench going to look like next year? It's in 90 seconds.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The coach of the year.
These honors don't come around often, and so you're very appreciative of them.
The clutch player of the year.
Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
And a return to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years.
16 seasons of frustration. Sacramento has clinched the playoffs.
Keep it on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for all your Kings off-season news.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
All right, let's get to your reaction. Anthony Slater in The Athletic wrote about Domas's extension this offseason. He is eligible. 4 years, over $120 million. If he waits, he could sign a 5-year deal next offseason, averaging about $42 million a year. And we ask you, if you were Monte McNair in this front office, would you be comfortable in offering Domas this offseason that 4-year, $120 million plus contract after what you saw against the Warriors? Does that bother you whatsoever? Is there any issue, any hesitancy? Or would you just pull the trigger? Would you pull the trigger? Would you pull it quick? Dwayne Baker, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Quicker than Cattle's turning off Star Wars on TNT. That's quick.
It was TBS.
That was quick. KPG, wake me up when Sabonis and Brown are gone.
Yeah, KPG has been in there hating on Brown.
He's been going after Brown since that.
I didn't know Sabonis was on his list too. I didn't know.
Apparently so.
Wow.
The list is growing.
It's a long list for a team that won 48 games.
Yes.
And was the 3 seed in the West.
He's going after
There's
it.
2 All-NBA players and a coach of the year and an executive of the year and a clutch player of the year.
Ward says, I'm pulling the trigger quicker than Dave ordering fire wings.
They're the hot curry wings, right?
Hot curry wings.
Malaysian curries.
Oh, Malaysian curry.
That's what I hear.
I've never had Malaysian curry. I've had Indian curry. I've had Thai curry. Never Malaysian curry.
Yeah, I haven't had curry. Spice them out. Epic Airbeast. If he's like the Golden State guy, then offer a contract now at a bargain. Well, sure, that's what you would like to do, but Domas knows that if he says no to that offer, he's waiting on a $42 million per year deal next offseason. If he gives you what he gave you during this past regular season. The other part of the Domas conversation that we have not mentioned, how many teams would legitimately be interested in Domas? I don't know. His style of play is very particular, and you're either willing to play that style and play through him or you're not. You know, some teams, think about how many teams have guards and wings that dominate the basketball. That's not necessarily going to work with Domas. So I think the Kings actually have some leverage with Sabonis because they're willing to play through him. And De'Aaron Fox has been an ego-less star and is willing to give up the ball as the guard to Domas. And Domas is not going to get that everywhere he goes.
No, but I think there would be enough teams that would be interested in his services. And I mean, Nick, you look around the league, and the Kings are copycatting what the Warriors did, and they're not the only ones who are doing that. It's every league, when you talk about professional sports, is a copycat league, and they see the success that the Warriors have had, kind of doing the same thing with Draymond Green. Denver kind of does the same thing with Jokic. Now you're seeing the Kings do it with Domas. That's going to be appealing to somebody out there who, if they're not already playing that style of basketball, want to play that style of basketball and would bring Domas in to do it.
Mr. Allred in the YouTube chat again, give us that thumbs up. We appreciate it. Every all in caps move the Kings make needs to be deliberate and methodical. No quick decisions. Don't rush into mistakes, Mr. Allred says about this offseason. Before we get to the bench, let's jump to the phones here. We've got Steve. Steve wants to talk about Domas. Hey, Steve.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Terrific.
For me, no hesitation. I give him the money. I pay him. Worst case scenario, let's just say it doesn't go well the next, year and a half, 2 years, and there's a little bit of buyer's remorse or what have you. His contract then at that time is still like a year or two. So at some point, his contract, even if he becomes not quite what he was, his contract becomes valuable. Someone's going to want that. Or someone's going to think, in my opinion, I can resurrect his career or get him back on track.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve, for the phone call. We appreciate it. Maybe they'll feel that way. It all depends on how he plays next year. Again, if he looks hesitant, if he looks unsure of himself, indecisive, if we see some of those stretches when teams defend him the way that Golden State defended him, I don't know how many teams will be leaping to pay him $25+ million a year. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And, if you're going to offer Sabonis the max, once you go there, you can't go back. Like, once you offer the max, because Fox is going to get the max. You have two max players. You better spend the max money on the right guys. Because if you've got two of them on the roster, it's good and bad news. It's good news because you got two max guys on the roster. It becomes bad news quickly if one of those guys is not max worthy.
He's not playing like a max player.
And then you're stuck in the corner.
Ask the 76ers after they paid Ben Simmons.
Oh, my God. Cattles and Ramie here on a Friday. Happy Friday to every single one of you, Sactown Sports. Let's jump to the bench here quickly, Ramie. That's another question as we head into the offseason. This year's bench, Davion, Monk, and Lyles pretty much. The occasional random hot hand also thrown in there, but it was really those three guys all year long coming off the bench for you. HB, TD, Lyles, all free agents walking into this offseason. Here was Lyles earlier this week talking about returning to Sacramento.
Returning is honestly my number one priority. The fellowship, the relationships that I've been able to create with these guys has been above and beyond anything that I've had in the past. I went to on a personal side, I went to De'Aaron's birthday dinner earlier this year, and that's the first time that I've ever, hung out with, I guess you could say, a teammate or inside of a personal matter like that at a house, just having dinner and just, hanging out. So for me, that's my number one priority, is just to continue to be here and build those relationships with these guys and be part of something special. Yeah.
He's got to be priority number one as you look at this bench to reinforce it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We talked yesterday, Nick. We gave what we were most optimistic, what we were most concerned about. And I said, putting the right role players and others around these guys to be able to take it to another level, because that ultimately, while, you hope that just playing together, the chemistry, the gelling, the improvement of guys like Keegan Murray can make you that much better a basketball team. How you fill in the holes and put together this puzzle around the five guys in their early to mid 20s when you talk about the Kings is going to probably determine how far you can go. And I said, I'm concerned if you can at least stay at the level that you are now. When you talk about, look, we were concerned about scoring off the bench, and the two of the three guys that gave them any scoring off the bench, and Terrence Davis and Trey Lyles, are free agents this offseason. That's going to be a challenge in my eyes, Nick. And it's sort of, I saw the whole picture today when I was going through Anthony Slater's offseason preview in The Athletic of just how much of the production off the bench is going to be up in the air this year. When you talk about your own free agents and who else you can bring in, and that's going to go a long way in determining if the Kings can at least, as Monty McNair put it, match a 48-win season, which is not an easy thing to do, if not build on it and go even farther.
Yeah, to me, Lyles is a bench priority.
Has to be, right?
You got to bring him back. Also, Linda Harold in the YouTube chat, I want better than Nemi and Alex Len. Yes, I do too. You need to improve. You need to improve on Nemi, Len, and Holmes. You need a legitimate backup big that you can depend on. You can stretch Rashawn Holmes if you'd like. You can stretch his contract and let him walk. That's an option. You can try to find a trade partner, but his contract I still think is going to be pretty difficult to trade. He still has 1 year left on that deal plus a player option, and each year's like $12 million. Guy didn't play this year. But you need to desperately upgrade the big spot. I've been talking about that since the trading deadline. You can also hope that Kessler Edwards develops and improves and he shows you some growth to be, maybe somewhat of an answer for 8 to 10 minutes on the wing. We've talked about Sasha Vezenkov possibly coming over. Sounds like he wants to. How does that all shake out between he and Harrison Barnes? Does Barnes come back along with Vezenkov? Is Barnes gone? Vezenkov's in. You got to find somebody else to replace Barnes. I think you need 4 pieces. You need 4 pieces in this offseason. You need a starting, 3/4, and you need that backup big on the bench, and you probably need 2 backup wing/bigs on the bench as well. So I'd like to have 4 guys, 5 guys on the bench that you can depend on, and you also have to replace Harrison Barnes. So
sounds like
difficult.
Sounds like maybe Trey Lyles will give you a hometown discount. Maybe. I never count on that because these guys living, and I don't begrudge anybody making as much as they can in their line of work. But he said that's the first time he's gone and hung out with a teammate personally and had dinner in their home.
Yeah,
that's surprising, man.
It's interesting. He's been in the league for a while.
Yeah.
916-339-1140 is the text line.
I'm the most antisocial person I know, and I've been to Nick's home.
That's right.
The Utah Jazz don't give off great vibes and team chemistry.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Well, he's been on a lot of teams, though, not just Utah. 1-800-920-1140 is the phone number. Also, YouTube, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140 will continue your reaction on the Kings. We're talking the bench. We're talking offering Domas the big fat contract extension this offseason, whether you do it. Also up next, we'll discuss the NBA's most confusing superstar.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA3 Weather Center. You've made it to your Friday. We've got sun and clouds mixing in for the afternoon, highs in the lower 60s. A chance for a couple of showers after sunset tonight. A better chance for more rain early Saturday morning. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
A nice warm shower is not so nice if it doesn't drain like it should. Well, let's fix that right now. Get a sewer inspection, including mainline drain cabling and video analysis, just $97. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
When you hear the words, the whole store is on sale, if you're like me, you're thinking, this is worth my attention. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word or two about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now, Naturewood's whole store is on sale during their exceptional home sale. Now your mind is probably doing backflips trying to decide where to start. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Or maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, or accents and accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide home sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stickley, Artisan Home, Stanton, Flex Steel, Omnia, and all the rest of our award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable home sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Golfers, the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is redefining the word sale. With $500,000 in Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio closeout inventory, you're sure to find your next nearly new showroom clubs at discounts up to 75%. From full sets of irons to metalwoods to wedges, visit the Hagen Oaks Garage Sale and find discounts up to 75% on selected clubs right now at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
To make room for new merchandise, RC Willey is having a spring clearance event. Thursday through Saturday, enjoy clearance savings on scratch and dent, one-of-a-kind, display models, and discontinued items. Shop the large clearance centers inside all RC Willey locations for savings up to 40% on appliances and save up to 70% on sofas, sectionals, dining, and bedroom sets. Shop early because clearance deals will go quickly. Bring your trucks and trailers, deliveries not available. Don't miss the spring clearance event inside RC Willey.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street. Right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hello, I'm Frank Cockle with Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. Say what you mean and mean what you say is good advice. What do you do when something isn't said at all? Typically, you're left to infer what is next with the information available. The Fed raised rates an additional 0.25% this week. This action was obvious, but less obvious what was not said at the conference. In previous messages, they stated that more tightening may be appropriate. This time, this was left out, possibly inferring a pause in rate hikes. Rising rates can sometimes be good, but what is the purpose? The Fed raises rates offered to lending institutions. When banks receive deposits, they keep some as reserve, but they lend or invest the rest. If requests for withdrawals exceed the reserve, the bank can borrow from the Fed and pay the overnight rate. If the rates banks are charged exceed the rate they can earn on investments or loans, it becomes problematic, and then banks need to liquidate assets. If that isn't an option for the bank, they could be seized like we saw this weekend with First Republic. The hope is the FDIC can make the depositors of these institutions whole upon seizure. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer member SIPC, and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. CalHope can help. Access CalHope's free and secure mental health resources. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Last night, the Golden State Warriors' adjustments proved to be too much for the Lakers as they steamrolled LA 127-100. Rack up another one because Thursday's victory marks the 16th consecutive time that a team dropped Game 1 of a playoff series at home, bounced back to win Game 2. A blistering Klay Thompson shot 8 of 11 from deep and dropped 30 hot ones. Series tied 1-1 as the California foes have a date at the Crypt tomorrow with tip-off slated for 5:30. Tonight on the playoff docket, Boston skips over to Philly, series also tied 1-1, and Denver heads to the Valley for Game 3 against Phoenix. Nuggets have commanded that series so far, 2-0 on the Suns. And finally, the A's visit the Royals to open up a 3-game series beginning at 5:15, and the Giants are all set to host the Brewers tonight at 7:15.
It's going on tonight.
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Welcome back into Cattles and Ramie.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and more.
This is Cattles and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
If you're looking for more sports action, Republic FC has you covered as the club hosts another David versus Goliath showdown at Heart Health Park. May 9th, 7:30, Sac Republic FC will take on Major League Soccer's Colorado Rapids in a winner-take-all match with a ticket to advance to the round of 16 in the 2023 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Sacramento needs to pack the house. Secure your seat for the match starting at $17. It's sacrepublicfc.com/ticket. Mic check.
Isn't Lamar Hunt the Chiefs owner?
He was.
Yeah.
The Chiefs owner?
His son is now the owner of the Chiefs.
Right. And the trophy is named after him? We don't need to get it.
The AFC Championship trophy is, and the U.S. Open Cup.
Oh, I thought. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, we're talking soccer here.
There's a soccer trophy named after Lamar Hunt.
That
is what I'm asking.
what we're talking about.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And the AFC Championship trophy.
I don't even need to know why. Keep it moving.
Russell in the YouTube chat. Keegan needs to not be the starting 4 for this team to get better. Either start him at the 3 or bring him off the bench at the 4. Well, I can guarantee you Keegan's not coming off the bench. Not happening.
No.
Not even close to an idea. So
taking all rookie guys and bench him in his second year.
As far as 3/4, Russell, I also agree that Murray is more a 3 than a 4, and I think he will be your 3 next year. He'll be one of those wings for you. I think that's his best spot, especially when you want him moving around defending guards at times. It's just easier to keep him in that spot. He's not, strong enough and long enough and big enough and all that stuff to face some of the 4s in the league, so it's just better to have him play the 3. 40-20, Keegan can play the small forward, either trade for or sign an upgrade at the power forward position, or let Sabonis play the power forward to get an upgrade at center through free agency. Yeah, we've discussed that a couple times this week. Again, Domas could play the 4, he could play the 5. I think he's more suited to play the 5 because he doesn't stretch the floor as much. If you're going to bring somebody in that can play the quote-unquote 5, well, you just need that person to be a stretch 5 and somebody who can hopefully be athletically enough to protect the rim. Because, Domas, he's free throw line extended, facilitating the offense, the occasional 3 every 4 or 5 games, but mostly a lot of paint work.
Yeah.
So
he's got that covered. He doesn't need a lot of help in that area.
The 5 you bring in, if you are going to shift Sabonis to the 4, has to have a particular set of skills that fit alongside Domas at the 4. Let's get to Lakers Warriors here for a couple of minutes, Ramie. Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports. Series now tied at 1. The Warriors absolutely beat the bag out of the Lakers last night. And that is the 16th straight time a home team in the playoffs won Game 2 at home after losing Game 1 at home. It happened with the Celtics the other night. It happened with the Warriors last night. The Lakers just looked lethargic. AD finished with 11, 7, and 4. He shot 5 of 11 from the field. Here was ESPN's Jay Williams on Anthony Davis.
it's hard for me to recall a superstar in this game that has such extremes. Like, there are times when I watch AD, I'm like, your ceiling is on the level of Jokic or Embiid, maybe better. But your floor is JaVale McGee, and I've never seen a superstar have that range, that gap, that volatility in that gap.
So you're either Jokic or JaVale McGee.
That's a gap. That's a huge gap between those two guys right there.
Here's the thing about Davis. He's going to take his shots.
Yes.
And they either go in or they don't. He's not going to change his game dependent on how it's going early. He's going to, like, if you watch game 1, he took a lot of similar shots in game 2. The shots didn't go in game 2. Oh, well, that's what happens. You know, some stars, if they don't have their favorite go-to shots, you know, finding the bottom of the bucket, they will do some other things to get going offensively. That's not really AD.
No.
He's going to shoot his shots. And if they go in, he can give you 25, 30 points and be a monster like game 1. If he misses some shots and he also isn't as aggressive, maybe, he's going to give you what he gave you in game 2.
I saw those comments from Jay Williams, and it reminded me of, during game 1, I was just scrolling Twitter, and I saw a tweet, and I was like, yeah, that's spot on right there. It was my old buddy from my Milwaukee days, Bart Winkler. Sometimes you can catch him on CBS Sports Radio, filling in for various personalities right here on Sactown Sports. And he said there's a 7-game recipe for Anthony Davis. 2 monster games, 2 pretty good games, 2 games of absolute bleep, and 1 game where he gets hurt in the first quarter. Yeah. That's absolutely spot on when you talk about Anthony Davis over the course of 7 games.
Yep.
He can look like an MVP, and he can just disappear like he did last. We saw it in the first 2 games, those 2 extremes that Jay Williams and my boy Bart are talking about right there.
Yeah, game 1 was Jokic. Last night was McGee.
Yeah.
And, for the Lakers, man, when you've got a 38-year-old LeBron James, you need more consistency than that if you want to win a title.
Yeah.
He's confounding.
LeBron hasn't been great in this series yet.
I don't think he's 100%. And he's again, he's LeBron offensively, he's now mostly a 3-point shooter. He jacks up a lot of threes,
and he shouldn't.
Every once in a while. Yeah, he shot 32% this season from 3. Every once in a while you'll see it. You'll see like a drive, a spin move here and there, but he kind of settles for threes and jump shots now more than he ever has. And defensively, forget about it. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He hasn't cared defensively in 6 seasons.
Watch, we're going to hear if they fall short, we'll hear at the end of the season that the foot was much worse, and that's why he was settling for threes. He couldn't drive off the foot and couldn't play defense because of it.
Well, I just wouldn't believe a word of that because he was playing that way before the injury. Like that's
don't use reason and logic, Nick.
I mean, if you were LeBron, what they should do is post him up a ton. He's incredibly efficient when he posts up.
Van Gundy was saying the same thing during the game.
But he doesn't like to post up.
Yep.
He's never wanted to post up.
Yep.
So he is who he is. And he's been great, obviously. But as he's getting older, he's settling for a lot of threes, settling for a lot of deep 2s, and no one's going to change his game. He's LeBron James.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. And again, defensively last night, there was a play, I think it was out of a timeout. It's an inbound play. And LeBron just let his guy cut back door, wasn't even paying attention to him for a dunk. I think it was Moody. Yeah. He wasn't even paying attention to him. He's just looking around. And no effort defensively for like 90% of the game now from him. And that's been the case for years. Clay, meanwhile, he dropped 30 points, 11 for 18 from the field, 8 of 11 from 3.
That's classic Clay right there.
People were wondering what in the world Kerr was doing starting JaMychal Green. Well, Steve Kerr had the last laugh. JaMychal Green, man, with his shooting and his spacing, he allows you to stay big, but also space the floor. And that's what Kerr was looking for. He was looking to space but stay big, not go ultra small. So he goes with JMG, and JMG was good. And so, he had 15 points. I don't know if he scored any more. I shut the game off in the last 5-6 minutes of the fourth quarter because it was a 30-point game. But last time I saw him, he was up to 15. He knocked down a corner 3. He had a bucket inside the paint. That was a nice move by Kerr. But really, this is a 3-point line. Last night was a 3-point line. The Warriors shot 21 of 42. My simple math tells me that's 50% from 3.
Hold on, let me double check that. Yep.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
50%.
And, the Lakers shot 10 of 34. So when you look at that, the Warriors outscored the Lakers by 33 points at the 3-point line. Game, set, match. Golden State also had 38 assists and they were plus 15 on the glass.
Yeah, they looked good. As a unit, they looked really, really good last night. And Clay looked like classic Clay, like I said, which when that's happening, and by the way, Steph Curry, the facilitator in that offense last night, when Clay is shooting like that, they're hard to beat, Nick. They're really, really hard to beat.
I saw a stat. Kevon Looney only played like 12 minutes last night, and he had more rebounds than any Laker had in his 12 minutes of play.
Dude, what has happened with this guy?
Wilt Looney, baby.
Telling you.
Wilt Looney.
I'm telling you.
All right, how do we not get to it? Coming
What'd
up
you turn
next.
on? Never mind. Go ahead.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
It feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy.
Purdy going to throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Debo 10. Debo. Touchdown!
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown! CMC!
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
When you're ready to get properly fitted for golf clubs, join the thousands of Northern California golfers who visited the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio. Players of all abilities found the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio offers answers to questions about golf club fitting. You'll find a professional staff of fitters, major equipment brands, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan. See for yourself at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Call 916-808-2531 to schedule your fitting. 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
Carmichael Dave here, welcoming back my dear friends at Fire Wings. 21 different flavors. I had 4 of those 21 Saturday for the game, watching with the family. As always, breaded Malaysian curry. Yeah, you better bet I got that curry. Knocked it out of the park, too. Go to firewings.com to make your order. That's what we did. We ordered 2 hours in advance, picked it up. There's nothing better for the game than Fire Wings. Check out the locations nearest you. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. But right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. Or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Carrie, is this schedule the most updated?
There's a wedding season rush at Dr. Iona's dental practice.
We're fully booked this week. We can try and squeeze you in next Tuesday.
She needs a dental hygienist to unveil fresh smiles.
How long has 3 been under the UV light?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in Radio Land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
We didn't miss it.
See right there. You see it? I synced it.
We just chose not to tell you. Well, we're ready now. It's How Did We Not Get Into It?
Get into it.
Want to remind you, all guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. We're going to get back to the Kings at 3 o'clock with Brendan Nunez from the Kings Herald. He'll join us for about a half hour, talk about this upcoming offseason. But right now, as the big voice guy just told you, it's time for How Do We Not Get to It? And Ramie, I saw this yesterday. It surprised me. Marcus Smart won his third NBA Hustle Award, which immediately made me question, what the hell is the NBA Hustle Award?
Thank you.
I didn't know this existed.
I had no idea. When the first headline I saw just said Marcus Smart wins NBA Hustle Award. And I was like, oh, this is one of those new awards, like the Clutch Player of the Year award. They introduced like a few new awards this year. I was like, oh, this is a new thing. And then I kept scrolling, and a different tweet said, for the third straight year, Marcus Smart wins the Hustle of the Year award. I went, third straight year? Third straight year? This has been a thing for 3 years?
I missed it.
Was it a thing before the last three? And you're a Celtics fan.
I think it was created in 2016, I saw last night.
Yes, 2017 season was the first year they handed it out. First winner, Patrick Beverly.
So
had no idea.
This thing's been around for 6 years.
Why didn't they name it after somebody? Like the Clutch Player of the Year award is named after Jerry West. Why didn't they name the Hustle Player?
How do you quantify this award?
It's about to be the Marcus Smart Hustle Player of the Year.
Do people keep track of how many times guys dive on the floor? Like, how do you...
There are hustle stats. Somebody there. I forget the website. There is a website that keeps hustle stats. NBA hustle stats are tracked.
Player hustle. There we go. Players hustle. Stats. NBA.com.
Oh, it's NBA.com.
Advanced. Screen assists points, deflections, offensive loose balls recovered,
We're
defensive
keeping
loose
track
balls
of
recovered.
everything in 2023. There's nothing we are not keeping track of.
Percentage of loose balls recovered offensively and defensively. Charges drawn. Contested twos, contested threes, contested shots.
Who would you name the Hustle Award after if they were going to put a name on it?
I don't know.
Marcus Smart.
It's got to be the Dennis. It's got to be the Dennis Rodman Hustle Award, right?
I mean, Smart's won half of them, right? So,
I guess.
There's some weird names that have won it too. Thaddeus Young has won the award.
Thaddeus Young?
Thaddeus Young.
That's random. The other thought I had was, is this like high school superlatives? You know, you're like your high school yearbook, like best hair. The NBA has way too many awards. Hustle Award, Clutch Award. Like, do we need 40 awards? Do we need this?
No. I didn't need
most likely to succeed next year. We're going to give that
one out. What do you think Marcus Smart does with the Hustle of the Year award trophy? Do you think he puts that in a case somewhere? Or does he know it's his?
He puts it in the bathroom. I don't know. No idea.
They do technically give out a most likely to succeed award.
In what?
Most improved player.
I guess.
No,
I don't know.
That's most improved. No, that's not that.
Did you win any of the yearbook awards? Most likely
I don't
to.
think so.
Like that?
Stop it, Nick.
I didn't. No, I don't think I did. I didn't. People like they angled for those things. Like, I don't care.
Your boy got funniest. Just throwing that out
Oh,
there.
that's why you asked, Ramie. You just wanted us to ask you.
100%. This is Ramie.
I think you deserved it.
Thank you, Kyle.
You know, Ramie never hesitates to put himself over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I realize this. So he's a stand-up comedian. Kyle is a stand-up comedian wannabe. And Kyle also doesn't hesitate to put himself over.
I never put that together that we do have these two comedians running the show.
The similarity is putting themselves over.
Yes.
I worked with a guy named Peter Brown early in my career.
Yeah.
You familiar with Peter?
No.
He did a lot of national radio. And he told me, he was one of my earliest mentors. And he said, if you tell people how great you are often enough, eventually they start to believe you.
That's what you did with Emily?
Funny thing is, I don't like talking about my work.
No, it's not your work. It's everything else.
Kyle, did you get an award in high school?
No, I did not. I was not exactly the most beloved in high school.
It's tough.
Most colorful dresser.
Simone, were you most anything?
They gave me something corny, like I got a leadership award or something like that.
Kyle got most likely to remind you of a rainbow throwing up on itself.
No, I didn't start doing that till college. Oh, I didn't have the confidence back then.
Did you go goth when you were younger?
Was not goth. I was just dressed like Ramie every day.
Whoa.
I asked that because Joe Giroux was goth in high school, and now he wears super bright
colorful
colors
to make up for it. Yeah.
No, I wore the same blue jeans, hoodie every day in high school.
Jeans, hoodie, t-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm a big hoodie guy, if you can't tell. Love the hoodies.
I put a poll out last week. I said I'm thinking about becoming a sweatsuit guy, like a sweatsuit, tracksuit guy.
We already got one of those. We got JJ on the show.
Overwhelmingly positive. That is true.
We don't need two jumpsuit, sweatsuit guys.
I feel like I'm copping JJ style.
Yeah, JJ's cornered the market there.
Ramie, you got the body for a sweatsuit, though.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to take it as a compliment.
That's a compliment.
I'm not even sure what that means, frankly. Also, what did we miss? This ridiculous Angel story. I don't know how many people saw this, but Sam Blum tweeted out, here's something Angels reporters are dealing with this season. Requests to speak with Angels coaches, aside from Nevin, are being pre-screened for potentially negative, quote-unquote, lines of questioning. Requests are denied if possible questions are deemed too negative. The Athletic requested to speak with Angels hitting coach Marcus Timms. However, under a recently revised policy, the Angels allow coaches to speak to the media on a case-by-case basis. They did not permit Timms to speak to the Athletic about Rendon because the potential line of questioning was deemed too negative. The team said it prefers manager Phil Nevin to handle such questions. This is so ridiculous and awful and soft
is what it is.
It is so bad.
And Nick, I don't know if this is being petty or if this is actually giving them what they deserve. If I'm the editor of any major publication in the area, I'm just not covering your team.
Yeah.
If you're not going to let me cover your team the way it needs to be covered,
I agree.
I'm just going to not cover your team. Few enough people already care about the Angels. You're going to pull some BS like this? I'm just sending nobody. And it won't be mentioned in my paper or on my website. We'll find other things to talk about if this is how you want me to work. That's not journalism. That's not media.
Some of these sports organizations, they just try to control the message.
Yes.
And most of the time that doesn't work. Fan base figures it out. They get angry. You look unaccountable. You look weak. You look unprofessional. And maybe it's just because the Angels have been under 500 for 7 straight seasons. They're above 500 right now. We'll see if that continues. They've wasted the career of Mike Trout.
Mm-hmm. They're about to let Shohei
I was going
walk.
to say, they're about to waste the first few years of Shohei's career. Ridiculous. Weak franchise.
Top to bottom, man. And Moreno, the whole thing of putting it on the block and then taking it off the block. It's just, you don't know what is happening when it comes to the Angels. Like you never seem to know what's happening when it comes to the Angels.
Pre-screening.
It's a mess.
Such an outrageous idea.
I'm telling you. Just nobody cover the Angels. Don't even talk about them.
All right, Brennan Nunez will be joining us to discuss the Kings offseason coming up.
Cattles and Rock.
Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. CordellCordell.com.
When you hear the words, the whole store is on sale, if you're like me, you're thinking, this is worth my attention. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word or two about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now, Naturewood's whole store is on sale during their exceptional home sale. Now your mind is probably doing backflips trying to decide where to start. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Or maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, or accents and accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide home sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stickley, Artisan Home, Stanton, Flex Steel, Omnia, and all the rest of our award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable home sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Everyone knows Elk Grove Kia is home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new Kia. But did you also know that Elk Grove Kia is your one-stop place for used cars? I'm talking over 300 used cars available. With Kia's certified program, with its 165-point quality assurance inspection, we know peace of mind on used cars is important. And that's why we also offer extended service agreements on all our used makes and models. Most prices are under Kelley Blue Book retail. New car protection at used car prices. From used sports cars to used delivery vans, we got them all at Elk Grove Kia. And our financing folks have over 100 years of combined experience. So we approve just about everyone. No credit, little credit, bad credit, no problem. And Elk Grove Kia is proud of our don't like it, bring it back guarantee for up to 3 days or 150 miles, no questions asked. Why would you buy your used car anywhere else? So check us out online at elkgrovekia.com today.
Turn your highway into a smile way. Elk Grove Kia.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
KHTK AM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Sacramento Kings.
It's Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Last night, the Golden State Warriors adjustments proved to be too much for the Lakers as they steamrolled LA 127-100. Rack up another one because Thursday's victory marks the 16th consecutive time that a team dropped Game 1 of a playoff series at home bounced back to win Game 2. A blistering Klay Thompson shot 8 of 11 from deep and dropped 30 hot ones. Series tied 1-1 as the California foes have a date at the Crypt tomorrow with tip-off slated for 5:30. Tonight on the playoff docket, Boston skips over to Philly, series also tied 1-1, and Denver heads to the Valley for Game 3 against Phoenix. Nuggets have commanded that series so far, 2-0 on the Suns. And finally, the A's visit the Royals to open up a 3-game series beginning at 5:15, and the Giants are all set to host the Brewers tonight at 7:15.
It's going on tonight.
Please welcome Kings insider Brendan Nunes to the show right now.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
All right, let's head to the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Joining us right now is our friend Brendan Nunez from the Kings Herald, also the Kings Pulse podcast. Brendan, we appreciate your time as always, my friend. Let's start with Domas. Does Domas's struggles versus Golden State impact the offseason plan offensively for the Kings in any way?
Thanks for having me as always, guys.
Pleasure.
I don't think so. I think that it honestly says a bit more about Looney than it does about Domas in my mind. I think that Looney is getting a lot of well-deserved respect throughout the course of these playoffs. But I do think that for Domas as an individual, which is something he talked about in his exit interviews, is that knocking down that mid-range jumper is really important. And I think we've seen him knock it down at an okay rate. The volume's just never been there. And with him, as he expressed, kind of taking that emphasis into the offseason, I think that if he can progress in that way individually, that's sort of enough to make up for some of what we saw led to his struggles in that first round. But when it comes down to it, they took the defending champs to 7, so still all right with how it went.
Do you think there was any thought before that, and even more thought now, to getting a 5 and sliding Domas to the 4 because of what we saw Kevon Looney do to him over the course of that series?
I don't really think so, because De'Aaron is also kind of a non-shooter. I think De'Aaron, Domas, and one other non-shooter just makes for a little bit of a tough lineup, and wasn't surprised to hear Monty McNair say, he does think that Domas can play both positions on both sides of the floor, but to me, that's more so I would never expect him to go up there and say, I think he can only do this one position. I would imagine that their plan is still to have him at the 5, but maybe you can find another 4 that can space the floor and also add a bit of rim protection. But I'd imagine that Domas stays at the 5.
Brendan Nunez is with us here, Kings Herald. Brendan, let me ask you, is it less likely that HB is a King now than before the Warriors series?
I'm really unsure on that one. I do think it is somewhat less likely because the final 2 games, he really wasn't getting much run. And I think one of the most telling individual stats game by game with Coach Brown is just minutes played. And there's a reason he wasn't out there. It was, says something about some of the other options that Sacramento had on their roster, but I still think it's a coin flip on if HB comes back or not. I don't think that game 6 and 7 left the best impression, but the off-court value that HB brings, the veteran leadership that everybody just raves about, level-headedness, I still think has a lot of value. It's just going to kind of depend what the rest of the league thinks of him at this point.
Don't you think, though? I mean, it's only 1 year, but with the success that they had, and looking at Domas and Fox setting the example, don't you think that those lessons of being a professional, et cetera, that they might have needed from HB are pretty much baked in now, and now it's purely a basketball decision, and can you upgrade there?
I think there's definitely an aspect to that. I absolutely think that, it's something that like De'Aaron will just have with him throughout the rest of his career, that Keegan and all of these guys will be able to take things from HB even if he's no longer around. I think that it's kind of the word that you used. If you can make an upgrade, then you do it. I think that's just kind of easier said than done. Sure. And I think the last thing you want is to be left with nothing in that spot.
Brendan Nunez is with us here on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. That's what I was going to ask you, Brendan. You look at HB, and his career in the postseason isn't good. His series against the Warriors wasn't good. Can this team improve and build upon what they did this year, bringing HB back as a key player in the starting 5?
I think you'd be relying for some internal growth and development from some of the other guys. Maybe you even account for HB starting to trend downwards a little bit, but you think that maybe De'Aaron can take another jump. Coach Brown is talking about him being mentioned with the elite, and that would just take consistency. Maybe he could do that. Maybe Domas can have that mid-range jumper we're talking about, or Keegan can take a big development, or Kevin and Malik are still pretty young. There's Davion, Kessler Edwards still around. So I think that there are still ways to go up if you're bringing back HB, but it's definitely reliant on internal improvement that I don't know is the most. I don't know if that's something you want to be betting on.
Do you think we see any change in pecking order with this team, namely Keegan Murray playing an even bigger role, maybe even being your number 2 scoring option in this offense next year behind De'Aaron Fox?
Yeah, that's interesting. I could see it. I still think that, maybe just solely when it comes to putting the ball in the basket, but obviously you're still going to run through Domas.
Sure.
I could see it. A lot of what Keegan showed throughout the course of the season and the playoffs itself really makes me think that the ceiling is higher than what I initially thought it was. So a big jump from Keegan is totally in the cards in my mind.
Is he enough of a creator right now? How much? Because to me, Brendan, when I watched Keegan, one of the things that we discussed before he was drafted by the Kings last summer was, he's not the most skilled isolation player. He's not, a super creator offensively. Does he not have to develop those skills pretty significantly to be a number 2 guy?
He definitely does. And that's why I kind of clarified in my mind is still running through Domas. But I think that he can get a lot of looks playing off of Sabonis, as we saw throughout the course of this year, and just kind of start to build off that a little bit, where if guys are closing out hard, take 2 dribbles and then a mid-range jumper, which we've seen like flashes of, but maybe doing that more consistently, or maybe 2 dribbles and then trying to go and finish through somebody at the rim. I feel like that's one of the big areas that he could really improve, and that'd still be within the flow of the offense, mainly playing off of Fox and Sabonis, but like upping his finishing would be really big. So there's definitely major strides that would need to happen in my mind when it comes to like his handle to be a full-on like number 2 creator. But I still think there's ways where he can really up his point production just playing off of the other 2 guys.
Where do you see the greatest opportunity for improvement with this basketball team heading into the offseason and the roster holes that they have now and the money that they have at their disposal right now?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of decisions to make. It'll be interesting to see what happens with HB and Sasha Bezenkov if he comes over and how that would affect Trey Lyles. It's definitely an interesting spot. I think the biggest thing has to be defense, but not losing out on your offense in the process. I don't think that's why I'm not a fan of like moving Sabonis to the 4 and then bringing in a 5. That would help your defense, but it might really take away from your offense. And I think you need to make sure you keep that strength of offense, but just try to shore up on the defensive end best you can. And part of that just comes from this group already seeing that when they are locked in, like they were in the playoffs, that they're better defensively than I think they ended around 24th in the regular season. So they should just be better than that straight up. But I wouldn't be surprised to see, an additional move or kind of swing here for nothing too crazy, but just somebody to fill in that HB spot. Like, can you go and possibly figure out a way to sign and trade for Jeremy Grant or in OG Anunoby, So I think that figuring out some wing defense and maintaining your good spacing, high IQ offensive players would be pretty big for this team.
Brennan Nunez from the Kings Herald and the Kings Pulse podcast is with us on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Brendan, I want to ask you about Bezenkov because, I've been talking about him the last couple of days, and I don't think there's much of an argument of what he can bring this team offensively. The question is, especially after that Warriors series, does he bring you enough toughness, and can he defend at the NBA level? Because if you've got him and Domas out there on the floor at the same time, that could end up being somewhat of a defensive nightmare.
It definitely could, and it's kind of lame that this is my answer, I guess, but I feel like that's a have to wait and see to how he evolves to the NBA game. It's a different style and sort of level of physicality required when he is going to be asked to sort of be on the perimeter, because I have the same concerns as you, but I had the same concerns with Trey Lyles as well, and that ended up working out. I do think that Sasha is a very smart player, and you can see that very clearly on the offensive end. And I think a lot of times that should translate to defense. It's just about a willingness to do it. So I think if there's an embracement of a role from Sasha, which is a big if, we're talking about a guy that is MVP candidate overseas and coming over and playing what I'd imagine is 6th, 7th guy role, if not lower. So I think if he embraced it, that there's potential, but, doesn't exactly have the most encouraging physical abilities when it comes to defense.
How much better does this defense need to get, Brendan? And do you think that there's going to be some drop off in the offense as the NBA sort of catches up to what they're doing and gets it all on tape?
I think that Domas developing that mid-range would be pretty big for, the league in general, kind of figuring out their offense.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to the defense, I mean, they did okay regular season. You could be more consistent, obviously, and you would strive to do that. But I really think it's just on the wings, like Keegan Murray even is a guy that they're not quite putting on the more forwards and wings. A lot of times you see him on guard wings, Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, or not Anthony Davis, excuse me, Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, and maybe you get a bigger wing like a OG Anunoby or a Pascal Siakam. I know Toronto's guys have gotten thrown around a lot. I mentioned Jeremy Grant. I really think wing forward defense would be pretty good for this team, because you look up and down the Western Conference and there's a lot of nights that you're dealing with a guy on the other side that is elite in that role, that right now, maybe Harrison Barnes was your best option this year and you'd like somebody above that.
Brendan Nunez is with us on this Friday. Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports. Brendan, you've mentioned the idea of maybe OG Anunoby, Jeremy Grant. I know there are listeners that have been flooding in with the YouTube chats about possible trade ideas. What assets do they have? I mean, they're kind of handcuffed after the Herter deal with their first-round picks. Is Davion the most realistic young asset that you could see being dealt this offseason, or do you think that Monty would entertain trading Keegan Murray, because that's obviously the next guy on the list?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you definitely entertain the idea of trading Keegan, but they would want, I'd imagine, an already established star, and I don't know. It just have to be the right spot, is Paul George probably isn't the most appealing with his injury history. Like, I'm not even exactly sure off the top of my head who Keegan would have to be on the table for, maybe a Mikal Bridges or something like that. But I see that as pretty unlikely. I think that Davion's name is intriguing simply because I don't know if he can ever reach his ceiling on Sacramento, just with De'Aaron Fox being there. I think Davion sort of needs to be a one, and other teams could find him pretty interesting, and he could have decent value around the league. So he stands out to me. I think a Harrison Barnes side-in trade stands out to me. And don't completely rule out the idea of them trading Kevin Herter. I'd be pretty surprised if it happened, but there's definitely a world where I think he's a part of conversations, if for nothing more like salary matching purposes as well.
Let me follow up. Do you think, in your heart of hearts, Brendan, do they have enough to deal to bring in somebody like Pascal Siakam? Because to me, I just don't think they have enough.
Pascal's probably not. I think that OG could be on the table, and I think when you jump to the level of a Pascal, though, that it's probably not. Like, they can come up with a decent package, but there's going to be a handful of other teams around the league that can probably beat it. A lot of it having to do with just the pick restrictions in that Herter deal.
When you talk about Davion Mitchell, do you think he made himself a little bit more? Now, nobody's untouchable, but maybe a little bit more valuable and unmovable for the Kings with what he did in that series against the Warriors, because
they didn't play him in Game 7.
We're going to get to that. Calm down, Nick. But if you run into a Steph Curry again, and there are other guys in this league at that position that can kill you, who exactly are you going to give that assignment if Mike Brown wants to put a defensive player on that player in the future?
Yeah, I think that you need De'Aaron Fox to just kind of step up and embrace that role. And I think that he did an okay job in the playoffs, but obviously you don't want him doing that every single possession. Ideally, you can figure out one other backup that can just hound guards a bit. And, maybe that is a PJ Dozier. You can find a different version of a Matthew Dellavedova. I'd imagine that I don't know how much basketball he has left in his future. So I just don't think that there's many minutes for Davion on this team in the long term is kind of what it comes down to for me.
Brendan Nunez is with us here on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Let's talk Foxy here for a minute, Brendan. I don't know how you felt about him and his ceiling heading into this season. I always said that I thought he could be, a top 30, 35 guy. I still gave him a chance to be even better than that because of his youth and the lack of coaching that he received and really the lack of quality teammates that he's played with. But now, after witnessing this season and seeing what he did in the first, 4.5 games before that finger injury really, really took him out of that series for the most part, what do you think his ceiling is now?
It's a tough one. I mean, how consistent can he be, I think, is what it comes down to. We've seen him have great stretches. His fourth quarters obviously were phenomenal this season, but there's often times where 1 or 2 quarters, you're just not feeling him that much out there. And he still has a focus that he takes away from the defense and sets up his teammates and all of that. I don't think that he's ever not trying out there or anything. It's just how often can you be the guy that is just going and getting buckets nonstop, setting up your teammates all the time? And I don't know what that answer is right now. I still think that we're talking sort of all-star and flirting with all-NBA, but not perennial all-NBA yet. I just think that it needs to be proven to me more consistently, or maybe he could come back with an even better jump shot, but I'm not really betting on that. I think the point he's at now is fine. It's just all about consistency. And until I see it, like the version that they got of De'Aaron last year is plenty for, like, you can't complain from there. And maybe he can keep taking that further.
How important do you think it is for the Kings to bring back Trey Lyles?
I don't know. If they feel good about Sasha Vezenkov, then I could see it being repetitive. Trey Lyles definitely did some tugging at my heartstrings in the exit interviews, talking about, that he's hopped around a lot and would love to sort of find a place and be able to stick around. And I like what Trey Lyles brings, but if you're talking about upgrading the defense, then maybe that's a spot that you look at where, okay, we'd rather our backup wing or forward to be a little bit more defensively versatile, or maybe you're bringing in Sasha and you feel like that fills that spot and would rather spend some of your resources elsewhere. So I really like Trey. I'd be a fan of bringing him back, but I'm not sure that you should feel like you need to.
Brendan Nunez is with us. Brendan, during the year, one of the things that really surprised me was, Monty didn't seem like he was too concerned about having a backup big behind Domas. We had, Frankie in studio going back when Nerlens Noel was available, and Frankie said, full stop, Monty's not interested. Just not going to happen. Do you think this offseason he's going to show a little bit more urgency addressing that situation?
I think that they will definitely figure out another way to add to that backup center. I don't think that it's going to be Chimezie Metu. Maybe it's Alex Len. I don't think it's going to be Alex Len. And we'll see what they do with Keita as well. But I think they're going to address it. I wouldn't expect them to spend any decent amount of money, but I think that they're like good minimum level players that are backup bigs. That is probably what you're going to see filled into that spot in my mind.
I know we're still a ways away from free agency. We still have the playoffs and the NBA finals to go on, but I'm just going to throw a name at you because we already know he's not going back to the team that he played for under any circumstances. How do you feel about Dylan Brooks in a Kings uniform?
I haven't thought about it enough, I guess.
Fair enough. Maybe that tells me all I need to know about how you feel about him in a Kings uniform.
I do think that he's going to end up solid on, I'm in a way have come around to rooting for him because he's getting a lot of crap, even though he brought it along himself, for sure. Mm-hmm. There's no two ways about that. But I do think that he's a really solid defender. I don't know if you feel like that he is going to embrace the newly found culture and fit a role, then I could see it.
Yeah, I'm out on him.
I guess.
I'm out on him. I'm out on him, Brendan. Just say.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
Yeah, I don't want him. Or no, I'm all set. I'm all set. Last one from me today, and again, appreciate your time. When you look forward now, Brendan, how optimistic are you, or what makes you the most optimistic about this team building off of the momentum this year moving forward?
Got to be the youth. I mean, De'Aaron Fox is still young. Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk are still young. Domantas Sabonis is still what I would call young, and Keegan Murray and Davion Mitchell obviously are the most dramatics, the most extremes of just youth on this roster. So I think that and a finally in Sacramento having a coaching staff and a front office that seem to be on the same page. They're locked in. That's not a question anymore. Instead, you can just fully commit all your attention into, okay, what are we going to do for the roster? And I think that spells well moving forward. I think that expectations are going to make for a very different season next year compared to this year. Obviously, like playoffs and then everything is gravy after that. There's going to be higher expectations next year, and you got to be able to keep climbing from here. But that youth is definitely what I look at the most, and still having some of the ammo to maybe take one more swing.
What maybe makes you a little bit concerned about this organization moving forward, that they can not just match what they did this year, but build on it and improve on it and go even farther?
It's probably that same thing with expectations, is that, I don't know that a 3 seed is the most realistic for next year. And that's probably going to be somewhat of an expectation based on how you ended last year. And like, if next year is another first round exit in the playoffs, how do people feel? Because I think that's a very realistic outcome for this team. It's like, it feels great to have reached this point, but where do you keep climbing from here? I think that the internal improvement in the youth I talked about is a great hypothetical, but it is a hypothetical. There's a chance that these guys are what they are. But I think that they can find ways to improve, and also just maybe that swing that you take. I think that like Minnesota is a team I compared these guys, the Kings, a lot to this year, Minnesota of last year. And then you go out and take a swing and it's the wrong piece, and everybody knew, to be fair, that Rudy was the wrong piece for Minnesota. So hopefully it won't be.
Well, Minnesota did it, Brennan. Minnesota wasn't aware. Imagine you just could have kept Walker Kessler, just went on your way. That's all they had to do. Just keep the young big. Brennan Nunez, Kings Herald, Kings Pulse podcast. Thanks for joining us, man. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, there goes Brendan. He was on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. So here's where I'm at.
Where are you at, Nick?
I see J_Toy15 in the YouTube chat earlier today. Says, if Jaylen Brown asked out, would you offer Murray, Davion, Holmes, and first-round picks for him?
Hang on. Give me that again.
Keegan, Davion, Rashawn Holmes, and first-round picks.
For Jaylen Brown? Yeah,
I mean, I'd offer that in a heartbeat if I were the Kings.
Yeah,
I don't think the Celtics had taken it.
No, that's what I was just going to say.
So
that's
this is
happening.
So that leads me to this.
What are we doing?
I know we're going to do it this offseason. I know we're going to do it because people can't help themselves.
It's part of the fun, isn't it?
I guess. Maybe it's fun for you. But
I got love for the boy.
But here's what I'll say. We have to be very realistic about trade targets this offseason. Talking to Brendan, OG Anunoby, I don't know if the Raptors would be like, oh, yeah, give us Davion Mitchell and what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Harrison Barnes in a sign and trade. Like, we're talking about HB as a guy who you don't feel like you can depend on to get better next year. And how valuable is he in a trade? Like, and then we're gonna have that issue, I think, with listeners, some of the listeners and some of the fans out there. They're gonna say like, well, I don't want to trade Keegan Murray, but I want a massive upgrade.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. No, it's gonna have to happen in free agency or the draft, Nick. If you can, like we've talked about, find that diamond in the rough in the draft. A trade, now you never know. You know what I mean? GMs get creative. But I don't see the trade that's out there in terms of not giving up some kind of major piece on this team because of what you've talked about and how they've sort of handcuffed themselves with the draft picks they gave up to get Kevin Huerter. And that was a good deal. I'm not saying bad deal in retrospect. Good deal for everything that Kevin Huerter did for you this year. But trades are going to be a hard proposition for the Kings this offseason, harder than usual.
Yes. And that's why it does get a little frustrating at times when people, they'll jump on me, they'll jump on other people being like, how could you trade Davey? Like, if you want to bring somebody back of quality, you've got to give up something of quality.
You did hate Davion Mitchell all season.
Yeah.
Hated him.
I couldn't stand him.
Couldn't stand the guy. Couldn't wait to get him out of here.
If Keegan is untouchable to you, who else are you going to trade that is going to bring, and if you think it's Kevin Huerter, remember what the Kings gave up for Kevin Huerter. They didn't give up much, which means you're not going to get much for him. So we all just have to be realistic. I think Ramie's right. The big upgrade, maybe you can work out some sign and trade or something. But again, I don't think you're going to be bringing back a star by trading HB or, in a separate deal, Davion, because you're handcuffed with those picks because of that Huerter deal. Davion's your best piece that I think fans would maybe accept trading, but I don't know what he's going to bring back. So I want to be realistic about trades that could happen this offseason. All right.
Do we have to? The whole offseason? We can't get a little crazy?
Well, you don't have to do anything.
Well, what'll happen is I'll take the crazy or the unrealistic trade offers. We'll talk about them, and I'll just completely throw them in the trash on the air. That'll be how we'll handle it.
Trade for Giannis.
You could have some fun once in a while.
We should have a trash can, a virtual trash can. I don't know what that sounds like. That when those trades come in, we read them and then we throw them in said trash can.
All right, we get back into the prediction business to see how wrong we can be next.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Thinking that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
ACR Solar and Home Services is here to help you, just like they helped me. Jason Ross here, and ACR did a great job for my family, bringing their impeccable reputation and great workmanship to keep my family covered with a brand new roof. Now we're comfortable and dry during Sacramento's rainy season, knowing our home's structural integrity is protected. Our value is increased, and the home itself, well, it's looking and functioning at its best. The proof, it's in our roof. Now, you could get this same quality experience with ACR Solar and Home Services. Just go to acrsolar.com now to sign up for a free estimate and see all that they have to offer, not only to protect your home and family during the cold and wet Sacramento weather, but also including premium made-in-the-USA solar electric systems. That's acrsolar.com. ACR Solar and Home Services is bringing us all the highest quality, highest value, and integrity since 1979. Go to acrsolar.com. That's acrsolar.com.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
In business, everything your employees do impacts your brand, including what they wear. Cintas has high-performance workplace apparel for almost every job imaginable. From work shirts and pants, to polos and khakis, to Oxfords or T-shirts, these clothes move, breathe, and look great. Your team gets the styles they like, you convey the image you want. And Cintas service includes weekly laundry and delivery. To learn more, visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Depression, anxiety, and trauma can happen to anyone. You aren't alone. 1 in 5 of us will have a mental health issue in our lifetime. And just like other illnesses, people who get support and treatment find healing and hope. Check in with someone you're worried about. And if you're feeling pain, ask for help. There's no shame in taking care of yourself or the people you care about. Be there for someone who's hurting, even if that someone is you. Learn more at StopStigmaSacramento.org.
Hey, movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, an IMAX 2D and 3D experience.
It's time to save the universe. Let's give the galaxy something to remember us by.
See Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on the largest screen in Sacramento. Visit IMAX.com/Sacramento for tickets and reserved seating. Select showtimes in 3D. Plus, join the free IMAX Directors Club to receive special member pricing on tickets and more at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Looking for more sports action? Republic FC has you covered as the club hosts another David versus Goliath showdown at Hart Health Park. On May 9th at 7:30 p.m., SRFC will take on Major League Soccer's Colorado Rapids in a winner-take-all match with a ticket to advance to the round of 16 and the 2023 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup on the line. It's $5 beer night. We need Sacramento to pack the house, so secure your seat for the match starting at $17 at sacrepublicfc.com/tickets.
Sactown Sports
Headlines. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Last night, the Golden State Warriors' adjustments proved to be too much for the Lakers as they steamrolled LA 127-100. Rack up another one because Thursday's victory marks the 16th consecutive time that a team dropped Game 1 of a playoff series at home, bounced back to win Game 2. A blistering Klay Thompson shot 8 of 11 from deep and dropped 30 hot ones. Series tied 1-1 as the California foes have a date at the Crypt tomorrow with tip-off slated for 5:30. Tonight on the playoff docket, Boston skips over to Philly, series also tied 1-1, and Denver heads to the Valley for Game 3 against Phoenix. Nuggets have commanded that series so far, 2-0 on the Suns. And finally, the A's visit the Royals to open up a 3-game series beginning at 5:15, and the Giants are all set to host the Brewers tonight at 7:15.
What's going on tonight?
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Let's get on the record right now with Cattles and Ramie.
Some things just need to be recorded,
not TikTok.
We're talking about predictions and guarantees. It's on the record.
But off the record, I can't stand those.
If you're looking for more sports action, Sac Republic FC, as you covered at the club, hosts another David versus Goliath showdown at Hart Health Park. May 9th, 7:30 p.m., Sac Republic FC takes on Major League Soccer's Colorado Rapids in a winner-take-all match with a ticket to advance to the round of 16 in the 2023 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Need Sacramento to pack the house. Secure your seat for the match starting at $17 at sacrepublicfc.com/tickets. All right, let's get to on the record this week. I'm going to do we have any records, or that's JJ's business and he's on a vacation?
Batting averages, etc.
I know I just hit Keegan Murray under 10 points a game in the Warrior series.
You did, and Ramie was wrong saying he would be over 10 points a game in the series. Ramie, you guessed that there would be 1,700 points scored in the series.
Mm-hmm.
The series went 7 games, and you still fell short.
The kid's relentless.
Wasn't as high scoring as I thought it would.
No.
As we all thought it would be.
1,607 for the series.
Oh.
But you did hit on. Nope, that was the only one you hit on. So Ramie is 11 for 46, batting .239. Nick is 11 for 45, batting .244.
Wow, we're close.
You were close on
Tightening
Domas,
up.
averaging 24, 14, and 8 for the series. He was 16, 11, and 4.7. So nice effort there.
Good job, Domas.
Jay was on fire. Jay raised
Here's
his
what I don't like about this. So Kyle has all the jokes, right? But he doesn't go on the record with us.
Oh,
So
I'm happy to go on the record.
Yeah, let him go on the
just
record.
Go on the record.
Take his shots.
We'll take shots
Nick,
at him.
you
next
take a
week.
shot.
You were gone last time, but I said Denver would go 12-3, win the West, and never face an elimination game.
Wow.
That's looking good.
Wow.
What did I say about putting himself over? He said he doesn't do that last
That is
hour.
pretty
I don't
good.
put myself over.
That is pretty good.
You called me out, man. I'm just clapping back.
Ooh,
Uh,
feisty.
Malik,
It's in the second round. He's clapping back. It's the second round.
they're looking good. So real quick, so JJ raised his batting average to 342 because he hit 2 big ones in the series. Malik Monk will have a 30-point game in the series, hit it in game 1. Keegan Murray will be double-digit and have 3 triples in game 4. That was Keegan's breakout game with 23 and 5 3-pointers. Simone's 5 for 10, batting .500.
Woo!
She got that the Kings will
Small
score
sample size.
120 points. Her prediction that Kessler will have 12 points at some point in the series was very wrong.
I
Shocker.
came up short.
Shocker.
Came up a little short.
Shocker. All right, let's get to on the record this week. Here's my first one. Steph Curry will make 6 or more threes in game 3.
6 or more threes in game 3.
Yes. 6 or more threes.
That's a home run, right? 6 threes is a lot. I mean, even for Steph Curry, 6 3-pointers is a lot of 3-pointers, is it not?
You said a home run?
Triple?
I'll give you a triple. Yeah.
Okay.
These boys are going to be cooking.
I'll go triple.
All right, I'll take a triple.
Take a triple.
What do you got, Ramie?
Trey Lyles will be back with the Sacramento Kings.
All right,
this
great. We
offseason.
can check on that one in 2 months. Fantastic.
So not
They can't
fun.
help me this weekend.
We'll come back around.
I'll come back around.
I was over here feeling guilty about like end of summer predictions.
I'll
and
say-
you're over here blowing it out.
yeah.
I'll say double.
That's a double.
Okay.
Double.
I'll take a double.
And generous double, too, because he
Yes,
wants to come back.
very much.
Simone, what do you got for us?
I am going to go with a Kentucky Derby selection here.
Oh, I like it.
I am going to go with a horse that I just stumbled upon this afternoon. Sun Thunder is going to be getting
Say that
those
again? Sun Thunder?
Yes, like the
Yes.
the sun in the sky.
Sun
and thunder.
Gotcha.
Getting those gorgeous flowers this weekend. 26-1 odds.
I was just looking that up.
Well, it's got to be a home run then if it's
Thunder.
26-1.
26-1. That's a home run. What are the what's the rest of the field?
I see CBS
in their
Sports.
odds?
CBS Sports says 50-1.
Whoa.
That's a home run.
Yeah, we'll give you a home run on that.
No
one,
doubt
for sure.
about that.
Thank you.
Are we gonna let Kyle go on the record?
No.
Is that
You want me to pick for JJ?
Nope.
All right, move on.
So I've got another basketball one.
Okay.
KD is going to drop 40 points in one of the 2 games this weekend, either tonight or Sunday. KD will have a 40-point game.
40.
40.
In a win or a loss, or does it matter?
It doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
He's going to drop 40.
With KD, 40 isn't crazy by
You
any
better be
means.
generous. He hasn't scored 40. Let me see.
I'll give you a triple.
I think if it happens, it could be a home run. Because they don't have to win, I guess.
Let's see the last time he scored 40 points. It's going to take me a little while.
Good radio.
Okay.
37 in March. The last time he scored 40 points was on January 4th.
Okay, I'll give you a home run.
Thank you.
It's a playoff game. I'll give you a
Home run as well.
Back around to me.
Yes, please.
The Boston Celtics.
Oh, God.
Don't even finish it. Don't even finish it. Don't do it. Pivot. Go to some other sport. I don't want to hear the finish of this.
We'll not lose another game in this series. We'll not lose another game in their series against the Philadelphia 76ers.
Why are you and JJ dead set on trying to kill me?
The vibes are immaculate.
What is it with you two?
Guaranteed.
It's like a million other things you could go to.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, it's a home run. They're going to lose tonight.
Nope. Telling you.
Embiid's getting the MVP trophy tonight. Philadelphia's going to be all pumped.
Call it a triple.
They do not lose another game in this series.
I'm going home.
I'm going
It's a
home
home
run,
run.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
He's underselling the Celtics. I'm telling you.
All right, Simone, what do you got?
I am going to crown the 2023 NBA champion. I don't know if you guys are ready for this.
Already?
Gonna be your New York Knicks.
Stop it. That's a home run and stop it. Home run.
Stop. New York.
That can't happen. That is not going to happen.
New York.
That's not
I'm so
happening.
excited. I'm so excited to see those nuts in the street just acting a fool. I'm so excited.
Stephen A. would probably just
Explode.
Die. He'd probably just die.
No doubt.
And be okay with it. He'd just float on up to heaven happy that he saw the Kings win a championship.
I was going to say, if he just died, I don't know if he'd know he'd be okay with it. He wouldn't have much thought
if
about it.
If you believe in the afterlife, he would be okay with it.
It's like, yeah, got to see my Knicks go all the way before I went.
Oh, my
Heaven
goodness.
is being, are we sure about that?
I'm so happy.
So there you have it, folks. On the record for this week. I was going to, my final one had to do with the football season.
And then I shamed you.
I just want to have Ramie go crazy because I got on Ramie about the talking in 2 months. So there you go. That's it. That's all
I
I
would have
got.
been okay with it. I wouldn't get under my skin at all.
We're up against it. All right. One of the most awkward TV moments you will ever hear, and you don't want to miss it. It's coming up.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Apparently, Keegan Murray had to spend about $300 every road trip this year to get Chick-fil-A.
My pleasure. Who was eating all that?
Alex Len. Yeah.
Just crushing
deli.
Yeah.
Yeah, something tells me
Waffle
they don't just get like a value meal and keep it moving.
Because I'm guessing he buys it for the trip out.
For more of our Chick-fil-A breakdowns, go over to SactownSports.com.
Absolutely.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Valley Strong Credit Union.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies will stay mostly cloudy tonight. We will see some rain develop later on tonight, and we'll also have some rain around Saturday morning with some clearing for the afternoon. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, capital, and everything in between. Learn about all the benefits of being a business banking member at valleystrong.com.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The newest, most exciting race cars are coming to WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca May 12th through 14th for the Motul Course de Monterey, powered by Hyundai. North America's premier sports car series brings intense wheel-to-wheel racing. And there's plenty of family fun too, including go-karts, a Ferris wheel, and a kids zone. Get your tickets now by calling 831-242-8200. That's 831-242-8200. Or visit WeatherTechRaceway.com. Enjoy Mother's Day weekend May 12th through 14th in beautiful Monterey.
To make room for new merchandise, RC Willey is having a spring clearance event. Thursday through Saturday, enjoy clearance savings on scratch and dent, one-of-a-kind, display models, and discontinued items. Shop the large clearance centers inside all RC Willey locations for savings up to 40% on appliances and save up to 70% on sofas, sectionals, dining, and bedroom sets. Shop early because clearance deals will go quickly. Bring your trucks and trailers, deliveries not available. Don't miss the spring clearance event inside RC Willey.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopy autorepairs.com.
The folks at M&S Auto know that inflation is tough on everybody. If you need an excellent, gently used car or truck, M&S has hundreds of vehicles on the lot on El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. M&S customers get great deals and they save thousands. Get a great deal now on super clean 4x4s, including Tacomas, Silverados, and Jeeps, and muscle cars, Challengers, Teslas, Mustangs, and even the occasional McLaren. M&S Auto, msautogroup.com.
One brings Mackloff magic, while the other, we're still trying to figure that out.
Kettles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. Thanks for joining us as always. He's Ramie, I'm Cattles. This is Sactown Sports. So J.J. Watt was on First Take this week. You had Molly Karam, you had Stephen A. Mad Dog Russo.
Oh my God!
And you want to talk about awkward. There was some awful awkwardness.
You're not talking about Ramie's fake Mad Dog?
That happened. It's just his Mad Dog is just like
so bad.
Yell at a high pitch. That's
It's
pretty
so
much all
bad.
it is.
It's supposed to be bad.
It's like that's the joke.
But it's not bad, it's good.
Exactly.
No, I'm saying it's not that.
We good?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So there was some awkwardness when J.J. Watt was on First Take this week. Give it a listen.
All right. You have a lot of exciting new projects beyond being a new dad. You'll be the new co-host of the Pat McAfee Show.
Wow. Am I? Man.
That's what I was told.
Oh, that would be great. No.
No?
Did you send me a contract that I'm unaware of? This is great for television.
Well, that's an awkward moment, but could we make that happen? Would you be interested?
There's a number. There's a number that can make that happen. I'm open to discussions. But no, Pat's a great friend. He's been awesome to me for a long time. So
Okay,
yeah.
so that hasn't happened.
No, but it's okay.
No, but it's okay. No, but you're fine. Trying to make you feel better about
that was real awkward.
Being wrong. No,
I love Molly immediately throwing the producer under the bus.
Yeah.
That's what I was told.
Yeah, well, somebody told me. I didn't come up with that myself.
She's talking to somebody off camera.
That producer.
That's what I was told.
You know who you
Somebody
are.
told me that.
You know who you are back there. Throwing me under the bus. I'm going to throw you under the bus. And JJ's just like, oh, I am?
No, but it's okay.
No, but it's okay.
But it's okay.
No, but it's okay. It's fine. It's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay.
Have you had awkward moments like that in your radio career, in broadcasting, interviews, etc.?
Interview-wise, Michael Irvin, I did a Michael Irvin interview when I was doing some radio in Boston, and I had never interviewed Michael before. And he has a very unusual cadence. He stops when you think he's going to keep going. He keeps going when you think he's going to stop.
Yes.
And there was a lot of, him having an awkward pause and me starting a question and then him jumping over me. And there's just a lot of uncomfortable, train wrecks during the interview, to the point where people were texting into the show going, what the hell is happening? And I'm texting him back. I'm like, I don't know. And I had to apologize. I came back from the break, and I'm like,
you had to apologize to the listening audience?
I mean, I just told him. I said, I know that was pretty brutal. Apologize.
Good on you to own it.
It's the first time. It's the first time I ever spoke with Michael, and wasn't quite with the rhythm and flow of Mike.
No, but it's okay.
Wasn't really feeling it. And then there was another one. I interviewed Conor McGregor at Radio Row in Phoenix, and I went to see Conor fight Max Holloway when they were both really, really new to the UFC. It was my bachelor party in Boston.
Okay.
And at that point, it was the only fight that Conor had won via decision. Now, I knew that he tore his ACL during the fight. So I said jokingly that I had a bone to pick with him. And he's like, what's the bone? And I said, well, the only fight I went to, the only time I got to see you in person was the fight that went to a decision when you fought Holloway. You couldn't get a finish from me, my bachelor party. And he kind of quickly surled up and was like, I tore my ACL.
It's a great response.
I apologize.
Then I'm like,
for absolutely nothing.
I apologize for absolutely nothing. But
that should be your response.
And then it was like one of those things. It's like should I explain that I knew he tore his ACL during the fight and I was joking with him, and how awkward would that get? So it just was kind of a little uncomfortable for a second. We moved on.
I once interviewed back in Milwaukee, the local comedy club would get me like their headliners when they'd come through for interviews and whatnot. And I was interviewing Aries Spears of Mad TV. You know Aries Spears?
Yes.
He does a great Shaq impression and a few other guys. And I was calling him Aries Spears.
Oh, you get the name wrong.
Throughout the interview.
Yeah.
And he was giving me nothing. Like I was trying to set him up and he was giving me nothing. And I was
Why didn't he just correct you?
Eventually he corrected me, but it was already at the point where he was offended. Like he stopped me like mid-question. He was like, "Hey, my dude, I just need to let you know." And I was like, man, you could have let me know that at the beginning of the interview.
Yeah, why did you?
And we would have had a great time. Why did you wait till you were mad to do it? It was it got real awkward.
That's really funny. Back here behind the glass, as soon as you said that, I was like, Ari. And then I didn't know that's where your story was going. I was like,
no, he stopped me and he was like,
good to know.
It's like the astrological symbol, just so you know in the future.
Aries.
Yeah,
okay.
Aries Spears is
I'm guessing that happened to him a number of times through his life.
As somebody who has a hard to pronounce name, like I've never been offended by that, man. I'll just go, just so you know. It's Ramie.
It's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Radio Row was always interesting. So Radio Row, I also interviewed John Jones one time in New York City. And let's just say he had a very late night the night before. And this was before everybody knew that John had a lot of late nights. And that was interesting. I interviewed Kevin Harlan on Radio Row, who decided to put his feet up on the table and chew gum through the interview. That was also a pretty good one.
Like a boss.
That is some boss behavior right there.
Yeah.
There was also very early on in my radio career, Nick Cattles. I was still but a young part-time producer at the time. But one of the hosts of the show, he knew I was a big Howard Stern fan.
Yes.
And he was like, "Hey, we got this press release. His producer, Gary Bababooey Delabate, just came out with a book and he's doing a media tour." He's like, "I don't know if it fits the show, but you could interview him. We'll put it on the website. If it's good, we'll play a few clips on the show." And Nick, I like literally hardly ever interviewed anybody in my life. And I grew up worshiping the Howard Stern show. And I get on with Gary Bababooey Delabate and literally choke. When I say choke, I don't mean like I had a bad interview. I mean my throat started to close up on me as the interview was going on.
What is going on?
Every time he was, I would like squeak out a question and just turn off my mic while he was answering and try and clear my throat and cough or whatever. And it was not working. And I ended it. And to this day, I regret this because in hindsight, the professional broadcaster that I am, I think I could look back and laugh on it. I hung up the phone and immediately hit delete. Just highlighted the whole interview.
The whole thing was just over.
I was so mad and disappointed with myself. I deleted the entire interview.
But it was recorded, right?
No, I deleted it immediately.
No, I know, but I'm saying
I was recording while I was doing it, and then as soon as I hung up the phone.
But was it live on the radio?
No.
Okay.
It was recorded to air later.
Well, at least that was the case.
No one's ever heard it. I've never heard it. I did it.
Oh man, now I want to hear it so bad.
Me too. It was terrible. When I say choke, I mean choke.
You had a physiological response. Okay.
Yeah.
The some of the tougher interviews to do is like, I don't know if you ever had to do this one, but you have the sales team wants you to talk to an owner of a whatever it is.
Sure.
And then you got to try to get through like 5 minutes of that. And it's just, and you're trying to drag, and they're not usually on the radio, so they're very uncomfortable and very dry, and you're trying to get something out of them, and it's just painful.
Yes.
You're saying for like a read for like a client?
No, for sales. Sometimes, and I'm not a big fan of this, but salespeople
if
at
anybody
times,
in sales is listening.
if anybody in the building's listening,
I'm gonna send it to Scott Marsh.
Sometimes sales will pitch you on the idea of like, hey, this car dealership owner or this restaurant owner wants to come onto the show and be interviewed. For their, and
okay.
So because they're going to spend money, and if they spend money, we'll have them on for an interview.
Gotcha.
95% of the time, those interviews are train wrecks. And it doesn't matter. You could be Howard Stern, and it'll be a train wreck
Because they're uncomfortable and just freeze up.
They just don't. They're just not used to it.
Yeah.
And so, and what tends to happen is they think they're going to be very good because in their mind,
they've been picturing this moment their whole lives.
Their friends laugh at their jokes and stuff, and they think they're like,
my friends tell me I'm funny.
We've got this.
Yeah.
And then they get on and they realize this might not be as easy as it might sound. Because it is a profession. We do work at this, but
wait, but it's okay.
You put work into this?
Every once in a while.
Thought?
Some people would say I don't. Some people will say,
I feel like you're doing it wrong.
Do we think Keegan can be the Kings' number 2 guy next year? Find out next.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Hand off McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feel super, baby! The 5-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
On your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills. 500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. CordellCordell.com.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton & Price in your corner. When you call Ashton & Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
How did your roof fare in the recent storms? If there's signs of wear and tear, address it before the problem becomes bigger. Cobex Construction Group understands the importance of a strong protective roof. The smallest leak can be the biggest problem. We provide homeowners with reliable roof repairs and replacements. Quality work and customer satisfaction are paramount to us. Get a new roof for 0 down and low monthly payments. Call 1-800-NEW-ROOF for a no-obligation quote or visit trustcobex.com. Cobex Construction in Roseville. Do it once. Do it right.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Bartley Kavanaugh Golf Course is Sacramento's #1 course for fun. Players love Bartley Kavanaugh's fun design and great mixture of holes. Near the banks of the Sacramento River, Bartley Kavanaugh's moderately sized greens and generous fairway landing areas make for an affordable and fun round of golf. Bartley Kavanaugh offers a great pro shop, help planning your tournament or wedding, and a relaxing outdoor veranda for a cold beverage or a tasty meal. For tee times, visit BartleyKavanaugh.com. It's Sacramento's #1 course for fun.
Depression, anxiety, and trauma can happen to anyone. You aren't alone. 1 in 5 of us will have a mental health issue in our lifetime. And just like other illnesses, people who get support and treatment find healing and hope. Check in with someone you're worried about. And if you're feeling pain, ask for help. There's no shame in taking care of yourself or the people you care about. Be there for someone who's hurting, even if that someone is you. Learn more at StopStigmaSacramento.org.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com. 0
down with approved credit.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
Hey, movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, an IMAX 2D and 3D experience.
It's time to save the universe. Let's give the galaxy something to remember us by.
See Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on the largest screen in Sacramento. Visit IMAX.com/Sacramento for tickets and reserved seating. Select showtimes in 3D. Plus, join the free IMAX Directors Club to receive special member pricing on tickets and more at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Your home for the biggest matchups in the NFL. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Last night, the Golden State Warriors' adjustments proved to be too much for the Lakers as they steamrolled LA 127-100. Rack up another one because Thursday's victory marks the 16th consecutive time that a team dropped Game 1 of a playoff series at home, bounced back to win Game 2. A blistering Klay Thompson shot 8 of 11 from deep and dropped 30 hot ones. Series tied 1-1 as the California foes have a date at the Crypt tomorrow with tip-off slated for 5:30. Tonight on the playoff docket, Boston skips over to Philly, series also tied 1-1, and Denver heads to the Valley for Game 3 against Phoenix. Nuggets have commanded that series so far, 2-0 on the Suns. And finally, the A's visit the Royals to open up a 3-game series beginning at 5:15, and the Giants are all set to host the Brewers tonight at 7:15.
It's going on tonight.
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Welcome back into Cattles and Ramie.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and more.
This is Cattles and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
Happy Friday, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. So Keegan's development, Ramie, is going to be absolutely ginormous this offseason. It is crucial for this basketball team.
It's maybe the biggest factor in what this team does next year.
And both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively. Keegan, 4th pick overall in the draft last June, had a very good rookie season, showed a lot of promise in his first playoff series at the NBA level, truly caught on as the series went on. Wish that they got the basketball more to Keegan, but oh well, maybe they'll learn from it. But now you go into this offseason, and this is critical. This is critical for the player. This is critical for the team. Keegan has to develop. He has to show some really, really good, promising growth during this offseason before you get into next year. And speaking of the rookie, here was Coach Mike Brown earlier this week.
He was dealing with a lot of stuff, in my opinion, for being a first-year player in the playoffs, especially starting for a team. And it was just a matter of him getting comfortable, and he did it. He showed that he's more than capable, and I'm excited. I'm thrilled to see him come back next year because he's got a chance to really take off.
He's got a chance to really take off. That was the coach. Here's the GM on the rookie, Monty McNair.
A rookie who started
7 games in a playoff series, was, if not, I believe, the most winning impact rookie on the court this year. And while we didn't ask him to come in and shoot 30 shots, he certainly could have. I mean, he was the leading scorer in college basketball last year. But to come in and know what we need, which is actually defend multiple positions, hit shots, cut to the basket, play off our veterans. I thought it was a fantastic year for him. I wish I could say I knew he was going to come in and shoot 40% and hit over 200 threes, but testament to him, he came in and surpassed expectations.
Ramie, can Keegan be your number 2 next year?
Absolutely. I have no doubt about it. And
no doubt about it.
I have zero. Well, I won't say no doubt that he will, but I have no doubt that he absolutely can.
Okay.
If he's asked to do that, if that's what's asked of him, Nick, because I continue to marvel at how little attention people paid to the rookie season that Keegan Murray had. You know what I mean? I continue to marvel at it. And I brought this up the other day. When you look at the list, like, people might go, oh, everybody's shooting 3-pointers. What does the rookie 3-point record mean? First of all, he didn't just set the record. He blew the record out of the water. He, by almost 19 3-pointers, he blew the record out of the water when you look at 3-pointers made as a rookie. And when you go down that list, Keegan Murray, Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard, Sadiq Bey, Anthony Edwards, Luka Doncic, Landry Shamet, Steph Curry. Of the top 10 guys, there's maybe one guy on the list who, once they hit their stride and were established NBA veteran players, were not their team's first or second scoring option. And I think that on top of just being a spot-up 3-point shooter, a catch-and-shoot 3-point shooter, I see what you heard Monty McNair talking about, what we heard Domas talk about in his exit interview, Mike Brown. There's more to his game than we've even seen yet, already in his bag, and I think that he will continue to grow on that, add on to that, and improve on those things that he has that we maybe haven't even seen the full arsenal yet. I hope that if he is the team's second scoring option, it's not because there was some great dramatic drop-off for Domas.
Yeah.
If Domas can put up the numbers that he put up last year, and type of season where he's still your number 2 scoring option, that bodes very well for the Sacramento Kings. To me, that's the formula. It's that you're not taking anything away from Domas production-wise, offensively, shots, but at the same time, Keegan Murray's finding his and getting his and kind of leapfrogs Domas as that second scoring option for the Kings. That, to me, is the formula to this team taking the next step.
I think he can be. I don't think he will be. Not in year number 2. I think you need to see a few things from Keegan. First of all, he has to work on his ISO and creativity development. You know, when you see him on the floor, he's just not an isolation player yet. He is somebody that needs to work on creating his own shot, getting better at that. Again, can he? Absolutely. Will he? I'm not sure he's going to get there in one offseason. Hopefully, I will love it if I see Keegan Murray all of a sudden being able to cross a guy up and get to the bucket, right? I would absolutely love seeing Keegan post a smaller player up and go to work. But right now, that's not his game. It's just not his game at this very moment. I also think for Keegan, his ebbs and flows when it comes to being assertive. We've seen him be aggressive at times, and then we've seen him look hesitant. And it wasn't like only for one stretch early in the year. It came and it went. Sometimes you'd see him look super hesitant, not willing to take shots, not willing to, drive in and be aggressive and attack. Other times you'd see a little bit more aggression. You look at the Warriors series, and we could sit there and we could chalk it up to, hey, it was his first playoff series, but he did the same thing in the regular season, right? Like early in the series, he was hesitant, he was cautious, he wasn't super assertive, and then later on in the series, he got to that point. There's no guarantee that if they got to the second round and were playing the Lakers right now, that you would have seen an assertive Keegan Murray to start that series off.
I do think he needs to understand who he is and what he means or is going to mean to this team and its success, Nick. Because in the regular season, when he'd have stretches, or when Mike Brown called him out for his handles and he was like, oh, I can do that. I just didn't think y'all wanted me to do that. Basically is what he was saying. Like, I'm trying to get in where I fit in, coach, and not overstep. You know what I mean?
Right.
And in the playoffs, when people asked him about his struggles in games 1 through 4, he said kind of the same thing. He said, well, I didn't want to disrupt what other guys were trying to do. I saw Malik getting his. I saw De'Aaron getting his. I didn't want to force it. Dude, he needs to understand that him getting off a certain number of shots is crucial to this offense. And the longer he's part of this team and the more that they expect of him, the more crucial it is that he's a little selfish, that he's a little greedy, that he's a little disrespectful, as Mike Brown put it when we talked to him a few months ago. He needs to understand that that's something this team needs him to do, that he's not stepping on toes or crossing lines if he takes a bigger role in this offense.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Here's what I think. I think Keegan absolutely has the ceiling to be the number 2 guy on this team. I think it'll be more likely year 3 than it is year 2. A lot of rookies, they go through what Keegan just went through. So, it's not necessarily a surprise when you see a player have those ebbs and flows. Those things happen. But when you look at most NBA players, the second year, about the midway point of the second year, is when they really figure it out. So, by the second half of next year, he could be doing some really good work. And you could see, the second half of the season next year where Keegan is the second leading scorer in a lot of games. I just think you won't fully get to that point until year 3 with him. I'd like to have him with 2 off seasons of development, craft that as well as he can. Some of the things that I wouldn't say weak, but some of the things where he's got to develop on. And then you see that player in year 3. I think by year 3, you'll see that ISO. You'll see that creativity one-on-one. You'll see some of the things that you were hoping to see, late this year, maybe early next year. You'll see that consistently by year 3. I think he can get there. I just don't think he's going to get there by year 2, or at least the first half of year 2.
Don't you think, though, well, does the most NBA ready label that he came with, does that make you think that the process can be accelerated a little bit?
Sure.
And that it could happen in year 2 instead
As I said, I think he could.
Right.
I just don't think he will. I think he has the ability, and I certainly think that he could get to that level by early next year. But if I was when I have these conversations, I always look at it as like, if I'm a betting man. If I were a betting man, I would not bet on Keegan being your number 2 scorer right off the bat next year. Maybe after the All-Star break, he starts to, transition into that. Your thoughts, though. 916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone number is 1-800-920-1140. You can also comment youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. When you swing on by the YouTube channel, give us that thumbs up, give us that like. We always appreciate the likes. It helps build the brand, as we say. We'll get to your answer and your thoughts on Keegan Murray. Do you believe he can be the number 2 guy on this offense by next season? Also, on top of that, in 90 seconds, we rank where the Kings' future stacks up against other postseason teams.
Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
It feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy.
Purdy going to throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Deebo 10. Deebo. Touchdown!
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown! CMC!
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
Imagine getting ahead of your irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C by treating it with Linzess. Then you could start proactively managing your constipation with belly pain and get ahead of your symptoms. Talk to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Cattles and Ramie.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
We'll get back to the Kings in a second, but we have the MLB Network on in the studio, and I don't know what is happening. I'm trying to find it on Twitter. But in the Red Sox-Phillies game, somebody got hurt in the Red Sox bullpen.
Or collapsed or something. We don't know.
The only thing
don't know.
The only thing that I could see, and it's not from anybody who's like an insider or anything, says that it might have been a fan that fell into the bullpen, but there was medical team got rushed out there, and I last 30 seconds, minute and a half of that last segment, I was a little distracted because they showed the bullpen, and one of the guys in the Red Sox bullpen was visibly crying. So I don't know. I'm trying to see. Nobody's tweeting about it. It's really odd. Nobody's tweeting about it, but they literally stopped the game.
Maybe people don't have enough information to tweet about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which would be surprising if everybody is being responsible about this whole thing.
I was hopeful that maybe one of the writers that happened to be at the game saw it happen, or maybe word started to kind of matriculate. But we'll keep an eye on it. It looked like a pretty scary situation in Philadelphia. Don't know if it was a player or a fan, but looked pretty scary. Getting back to your thoughts on the Kings, text line 916-339-1140. We were talking about what do the Kings have to trade in the offseason to bring back a legitimate impact player. And I mentioned that, Kevin Huerter, think about what you got for, what you had to give up for Kevin Huerter. You're not going to get a ton in return for Huerter. And so the texter said, Nick, what the bleep are you saying? You're saying because we traded Huerter for nothing, that means he's worth nothing and his stock wouldn't go up based on his play last season? Like, how does that work? So what I'll say is this. I don't think Huerter's stock went up tremendously. And by the way, it was a fan that fell over into the bullpen.
Oh, man.
Kike Hernandez of the Red Sox told Tom Caron, who does Red Sox television, that it was a fan. So hopefully that fan is okay, but obviously must have fell over the railing that kind of is above the bullpen. So
Yeah.
hopefully the fan's all right, but it was a fan. But to get back to the text, look, did Kevin Huerter help his stock? I don't know. I mean, he got off to a great start, and then I thought the rest of the year he was off and on. He had his good weeks, he had his bad weeks, and he did not play well in the playoff series. So my point is, Kevin Huerter is not going to bring you back a player that is like a significant upgrade over Kevin Huerter.
Right.
Kevin Huerter.
You can trade Kevin Huerter, but you're also going to have to trade, Keegan Murray or Davion Mitchell with picks and other things. Like, if you want OG Anunoby, Toronto's not saying, all right, we'll take Kevin Huerter in a first-round pick for OG Anunoby. That's my point. So, and I'll stand by that. I don't think that's going to happen.
God, I hope that trade happens this offseason.
Yeah, if it's like Terrence Davis on a sign and trade plus Kevin Huerter.
So, we'll see. Sac Kings sixth man at Nick C Radio said he saw somewhere they said the fan was conscious. So hopefully so.
That's good.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, in Philadelphia, a fan fell into the Red Sox bullpen. Medical team was rushed out there and they stopped the game, and hopefully everything is okay. Hopefully the fan will be just fine. Dean on the YouTube chat, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Keegan's coach at college, it's Fran McCaffrey, by the way, who had the epic stare down. Remember that?
Yes, that was awesome.
It's the greatest thing ever. But McCaffrey said to Matt George, apparently he was just on Matt George's podcast recently, that Keegan's a good post player. Probably not posting because Domas is down low. Yeah, I'm not going to buy that one, Dean. Not that he's not a good post player. First of all, Keegan's college coach has an agenda. He loves Keegan.
Sure.
He's going to say that Keegan's great at a lot of things.
Fan is up and conscious, by the way.
Fantastic.
Via the Phillies broadcast.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So you've got you've got that part of it, but also, number one, Keegan, one of his struggles, and I said this before the draft, and this is not, people will listen to this and they'll take it like I'm ripping Keegan. One of the weaknesses of Keegan at Iowa, when we were talking about him getting drafted by the Kings, was that he wasn't great against length and size. He wasn't comfortable posting up. He even says it himself. He patents his game, from Chris Middleton. Middleton's not a post guy. Keegan's more of a 3. Well, when he has mismatches, he should post, and he doesn't. And I don't think that's Domas, because Domas, plenty of possessions this year, hovering around the 3-point line and the free throw line. It's very easy to have somebody post up and have Domas feed the person who is posting in reverse.
Right.
So I think he could continue to develop that part of his game, and I think that he will.
And it's a little different against grown men. You know what I mean? Whatever success he had posting up in college, it's a little different against grown men as you get to the association.
Absolutely. We'll get back to your Kings thoughts, but we have some Kings thoughts here. So the Kings, this season, Ramie, 13th in average NBA age. They were the 13th youngest team in the NBA.
Okay.
And last week, J.J. Redick had this to say on ESPN.
I got to say, the Sacramento Kings have one of the brightest futures in the NBA.
I agree with that.
And you use the word celebrate, and I think that's a good way to describe whatever happens going forward this season with the Sacramento Kings. If they get to the second round, they get to the conference finals, whatever it is, like this is a season to celebrate with the postseason appearance. Think about this. Mike Brown got Coach of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Keegan Murray is going to make an all-rookie team.
Yep.
De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis are likely going to make an all-NBA team. De'Aaron Fox got Clutch Player of the Year. Like, there's a lot to celebrate. They're one of the youngest teams in the league. They've got guys under contract, all their young guys under contract. Like, this is a team that for the next 5 years, whatever it is, they're going to be in a lot of these matchups.
All right, so when I heard that from Redick, I was thinking about, what could we do here? What could we do with what Redick just said? And I thought it'd be fun to look at the teams that were in the play-in or the playoff that have somewhat of a young core and kind of stack the Kings up to those other teams. So we came up with 6 teams, Ramie. We came up with, obviously, the Kings, the Timberwolves, the Celtics, the Cavaliers, the Thunder, and the Grizzlies. Now, the framework here is that the guys have to be 27 years old or younger. That's how we kind of look at, younger core. Because when we do that, because Domas is 27, that was the starting point. Redick said the Kings are have one of the brightest futures. Domas is 27, so we look at these teams. I will say who I have ranked, and then you could follow with your ranking, okay? So 6th, I actually have Memphis. This might surprise some people.
Really?
Wow. I just think they're in disarray. I don't know what to expect from them next year. I have no idea what to. They're a team in flux, and I don't know how I don't know how that personality is going to work.
The only reason I wouldn't put them that low is because Ja Morant is an absolute superstar. You know what I mean? All the BS aside and everything else, head on straight, he's an absolute superstar. And to me, that keeps him out of the basement. It's hard for me to put any of these teams at 6, but looking at it, Nick, I wasn't a big believer in what Cleveland was building. And then you and others kind of made me a big believer in what Cleveland was building. And then I saw the way that they completely folded against the New York Knicks, who, by the way, I don't think is a great team to begin with. I'm putting Cleveland at 6, and I'm less of a believer than I was just a couple of weeks ago.
All right, so I agree with your Ja Morant point, but the thing is, when you look at these other teams, they also have young superstars.
True.
Jaren Jackson, deep boy.
5th is the Timberwolves. I'm just not sure about how the Karl Anthony Towns Rudy Gobert combination is going to work. I don't feel comfortable about that. Ant Edwards is a beast. He's a killer. He's awesome. I don't have good feels about Gobert and Cat.
I have him at 5th also, the Timberwolves. I'm hesitant to do that because, quite frankly, Nick, I wouldn't be shocked if 2, 3, 4 years from right now, we're talking about Anthony Edwards in the conversation as best player in this league. I know that might sound crazy or hyperbolic to some people. To me, the combination of the skills and the mindset of that dude, he's an absolute dog in terms of the competitor that he is.
I love Anthony Edwards.
And if he's the best player of anybody on these 6 teams, that's going to make us both wrong.
Moving forward, number 4 on my chart on my rankings is Cleveland. Their perimeter defense is a big problem. I got Cleveland at 4.
I have OKC at 4 until I see what Chet Holmgren is, because I think he's going to have to be a big part of what they're doing. Until I see what that dude is at the NBA level with that frame, I can't put him up any higher than 4, despite the young core outside of him.
I'm going to anger some people.
All
3,
right.
I got the Kings. Got the Kings at 3.
Why do you hate the Kings so much?
Fox, Domas, Keegan, Monk, Herter,
this.
all 27 years old or younger.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
I don't know if we'll see a younger person replace HB, but I have Sacramento at 3.
I have the Memphis Grizzlies at 3.
Fair enough.
And the only reason that they're not higher is because of the uncertainty that you talked about before, Nick. That they are losing something in Dylan Brooks. I know it's maybe addition by subtraction, and they're getting rid of a vampire in the locker room, as we've heard people say before about Russell Westbrook. But you are going to have to replace some of his production on the court. And, I mean, John Morant has questions around him. They have a lot of questions there in Memphis. That's the only reason I can't put him higher.
Number 2 is OKC. SGA's legit. Dude's really, really talented. Jalen Williams had a just huge second half of the season.
Which one?
I think the one that almost won the Rookie of the Year. Giddey is really good and young. Lou Dort is only 24. Chet Holmgren will be on this team next year, and they also have a billion picks to work with. I've got Oklahoma City at number 2.
My nephew, for some reason, is an OKC fan. I don't even know how that happened.
Who's your 2?
Got him a Josh Giddey jersey last year for Christmas. It's the Sacramento Kings. And the number one reason why I feel comfortable putting him up that high, despite just one season, Nick, of getting off the schneid and ending the playoff drought, it's Mike Brown. I believe in that guy, and I believe in what he's building, and that he's got it pointed in the right direction, and the arrow is only pointing up for the Kings.
And we have
the name out your mouth. Exactly.
We have the same number 1, and that's the Celtics. You've got Tatum, Brown, Robert Williams, Grant Williams, all like 25 or
It's
younger.
a little absurd that they're still that young. It feels like they've had, at least the tag team of Brown and Tatum, it feels like they've had that together forever. They had that when they had Kyrie Irving, which seems like ages ago.
So there you have it. Some young cores, best young cores of play-in playoff teams ranked 1 through 6. Both Ramie and I have Sacramento in the top 3.
Look at that.
Of our rankings. All right, is Giannis on his way out of Milwaukee? We'll have the latest coming up.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Skies will stay mostly cloudy tonight. We will see some rain develop later on tonight, and we'll also have some rain around Saturday morning with some clearing for the afternoon. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Carrie, is this schedule the most updated?
There's a wedding season rush at Dr. Iona's dental practice.
We're fully booked this week. We can try and squeeze you in next Tuesday.
She needs a dental hygienist to unveil fresh smiles.
How long has 3 been under the UV light?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? when it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in Radio Land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
When you hear the words, the whole store is on sale, if you're like me, you're thinking, this is worth my attention. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word or two about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now, Naturewood's whole store is on sale during their exceptional home sale. Now your mind is probably doing backflips trying to decide where to start. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Or maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, or accents and accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide home sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stickley, Artisan Home, Stanton, Flex Steel, Omnia, and all the rest of our award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable home sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Let's change this to that by properly disposing of litter, picking up after our pets, reducing pesticide use, and regularly servicing your vehicle. Learn how to protect our waterways at BeRiverFriendly.net.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Last night, the Golden State Warriors' adjustments proved to be too much for the Lakers as they steamrolled LA 127-100. Rack up another one because Thursday's victory marks the 16th consecutive time that a team dropped Game 1 of a playoff series at home, bounced back to win Game 2. A blistering Klay Thompson shot 8 of 11 from deep and dropped 30 hot ones. Series tied 1-1 as the California foes have a date at the Crypt tomorrow with tip-off slated for 5:30. Tonight on the playoff docket, Boston skips over to Philly, series also tied 1-1, and Denver heads to the Valley for Game 3 against Phoenix. Nuggets have commanded that series so far, 2-0 on the Suns. And finally, the A's visit the Royals to open up a 3-game series beginning at 5:15, and the Giants are all set to host the Brewers tonight at 7:15.
It's going on tonight.
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Welcome back into Cattles and Ramie.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3.
Live and local in the afternoon.
They always keep you on edge.
Cattles
and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
Is Giannis on his way out of Milwaukee? We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
There we go. We're done.
In a couple of minutes. But let's first go to Mitchell. Mitchell from New Jersey has been very, very patient. Mitchell, what's going on, bud? You're next.
Hey, how you guys? How you
What's up,
guys doing?
Mitchell?
Happy Friday.
We're doing well. How you doing,
buddy?
Thanks. Pretty good. Pretty good. Thank God it's Friday. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. I want to see him keep Keegan. Is there any way you can just go after a couple of free agents, keep a first-round pick? I love it to be Keegan's brother. That would be some extra work for the broadcasters, make it more interesting. I'm thinking, Marcus Morris. I know he's getting up there in age. He's not one that his twin brother has. The name's almost the same. They look alike. I can never tell them apart. He's a little older, and then Westbrook be available too. I think he's just $12 million. Come off the bench. Would that make the team? We can only get better. we're pretty
Seen,
good
I've
right
seen
now.
a
We
few
just have
people
to
throw
add.
around Russell Westbrook's name.
Thanks for the
when it
call,
comes to the
Mitchell. We
Kings.
appreciate it. We appreciate your patience, my friend. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
listening.
Mitch.
Have a great weekend. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Westbrook, no.
I guess we're ready for a break then.
So no, then?
No.
Yeah, we answered all the questions.
I mean, this team is about spacing and shooting threes and all of that. I don't. And by the way, why is he going to want to leave the Clippers? He's very happy. He's playing with one of his best friends. I don't. And he's going to cost you a lot of money. You want to spend 15 to 20 million, maybe like all of your cap space on Russell Westbrook? No.
Mitch did say if it was for the mid-level exception.
It's not going to be.
No.
Unless he stays with the Clippers. He played too well with the Clippers, I think. And by the way, Chris Murray, so twin brother of Keegan.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about, I had said, I think it was yesterday, that a lot of mocks, a lot of people are saying that Chris will likely be, somewhere in the mid to late teens. I just got Brian Kobrowski's mock draft from USA Today for the win. And I'm literally just jumping down to see how far we have Chris Murray. But Chris Murray's he's kind of similar to Keegan. I'd say he's got maybe a little bit more athleticism. He's lefty. But he's a wing, similar size, similar length, a little bit more emotional than Keegan is on the floor. So you have that. And he's a guy who, again, kind of similar style. He can knock down threes. He has that kind of range. So his offensive game would certainly fit. I don't think he's a 4, though. So if you drafted him, he'd be coming off the bench. So, that's fine. But I don't know if Monty is going to be looking to draft somebody, and I don't know if this is like one of those things, but For the Win does have Chris Murray going to the Kings at 24. I think a lot of mocks are going to do that just to be cute. But I think Chris's ceiling in the draft is, again, probably mid-teens, maybe the 17, 18, 19. We got to go through the combine and all of that. But I think
the board's going to be moving.
I mean,
now and,
it depends, though. If you're going to bring Vezenkov over, then I don't think
you really need that
I don't
guy.
know if you I don't know if you need that guy. Maybe you could play him at the 3 to back up his brother.
I got love for the boy.
But you might be looking at something else. Or is Monty going to go best player available, which he's done in the past? Certainly. He drafted Hallie, drafted Davion Mitchell, same position, best player available. All right, let's get to Giannis. Cattles and Ramie here on this Friday, Sactown Sports. So obviously the Bucks eliminated in 5. Coach Bud fired. Giannis, his contract, he's got 2 years left and then a player option in 25-26. Here was Brian Windhorst on ESPN earlier today.
Is Giannis going to extend? I don't know. And that uncertainty is what the league is watching right now. The New York Knicks, for example, they got 97% of their attention on the Miami Heat. 3% of their attention on Milwaukee. What's going on over there? What's going on over there?
What's going on over there? What's going on over there? Ramie, you worked in Milwaukee for a while. Your thoughts?
I did. And and by the way, this is nothing but pure speculation by Brian Windhorst. And I'm not here to bash Brian Windhorst.
Stop bashing Brian
I defended him a couple weeks ago when Kings fans are coming at him. And this isn't me like turning heel on Brian Windhorst by any means. This is part of what these guys do. They connect the dots. But you also have to be able to decipher when a guy is reporting something he heard from a source and when a guy is just connecting dots and speculating. And this is Brian Windhorst connecting dots and speculating. And part of what he's saying is Mark Lasry sold his stake in the team during the season to Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Cleveland Browns. And he's saying, why, with everything going for the Milwaukee Bucks, both on and off the court, why would Mark Lasry want to get out now unless there was a storm a-coming, unless there were some thunderstorms on the horizon? And I can give you 2 good reasons why. One, money. He bought the team at, I think, a $70 million valuation, and now it's in the billions. I think it's 3-point-something billion, the valuation that he sold at versus the valuation that he bought at. And the other thing
Not
is
a bad deal, you say.
Not a bad deal at all. Yeah, pretty good business deal for that guy. But the other thing is, Nick, there's there has always been friction in that ownership group. They had this weird agreement when they bought the team that Mark Lasry and Wes Edens, the other majority owner in the organization, they would exchange governorship of the team for every 4 years of their ownership, that they were partnered together. And governorship means your votes in league matters.
Right.
It also means final say on personnel moves. And they're always like, no, we're collaborating. This is just a title or whatever. But there was always people looking at this thing like, that's you got rich people, egos, everything else that's involved. There were always people looking at that and going, how long is that sustainable? And would you be shocked, Nick, if I told you that Mark Lasry's governorship just ended and he handed things over?
That would not shock
to
me.
Wes Edens. There are very good reasons why Mark Lasry would walk away at the point that he walked. I'm not saying there's nothing to what Brian Windhorst is saying.
There are very good reasons for Giannis to leave too.
Sure.
And I think, look, it's not crazy.
No.
Chris Middleton
Could happen.
Chris Middleton has his player option coming up right now. He's 32 years old. He has a long list of injuries. Drew Holiday is 33. That shocked me when I looked that up today. He's 33, or he's about to be 33, and he has a 1-year deal left with a player option and a second year. So both Middleton and Holiday are aging out and could be gone within the next calendar year or two.
Holiday said on a podcast he'd retire after this contract.
And so you have that going on. You don't really have any young, exciting pieces on that team because they've been good and they've been trying to contend. So I don't think it's crazy. In the New York market, I said that when we were talking about the Kings maybe being more desirable. You know, you look at New York and MSG, in the playoffs in the second round this year. So I don't think it's crazy. I certainly think we could end up seeing Giannis leave in the next couple of years and go somewhere else to finish up, especially if Milwaukee doesn't have an answer to replace Middleton and or Holiday.
If they can't put a winning contending team around him, I think is the only way he leaves. He's not looking for brighter lights and bigger markets. He's not that dude.
All right, the Joker's got jokes.
Oh,
that and more next.
It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The coach of the year.
These honors don't come around often, and so you're very appreciative of them.
The clutch player of the year.
Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
And a return to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years.
16 seasons of frustration. Sacramento has clinched the playoffs.
Keep it on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for all your Kings off-season news.
Ace fans need Friday night plans? Well, we got you covered. Get 4 tickets and parking for any Friday night game starting at just $49 with the Friday 4-pack presented by Chevrolet. Save big and enjoy great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more this 2023 season.
He drills one to right, way back, and no doubt, and that quickly the A's have taken the lead. Second deck.
Friday night tickets are available at athletics.com/value. That's athletics.com/value.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
Hey, movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, an IMAX 2D and 3D experience.
It's time to save the universe.
Let's give the galaxy something to remember us by.
See Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on the largest screen in Sacramento. Visit IMAX.com/Sacramento for tickets and reserved seating. Select showtimes in 3D. Plus, join the free IMAX Directors Club to receive special member pricing on tickets and more at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. Spring officially here. And with the long, cold, and rainy winter behind us, I'm sure you're counting the days until summer. But don't wait until it's hot to make sure your air conditioner is working efficiently and, most importantly, safely. Get ahead of the problem with a $49 AC tune-up from American Energy Heat and Air. There's nothing worse than your air conditioner going out when it's hot outside. Get a tune-up today and make sure you and your family are comfortable and cool in your home for the hot summer months that are right around the corner. Give them a call, 916-520-9990, or schedule your appointment online at AmericanEnergyAir.com. Better Business Bureau, A+ rating. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. Easy, convenient payment options, same as cash, low monthly payments through financing partners. What do you need? 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Pretty cool moment in Philadelphia just moments ago. Joel Embiid got his MVP trophy, and his son ran onto the floor, and Joel kind of broke down in tears and picked him up.
Oh.
It was a great moment. It's all over Twitter.
Gorgeous trophy, too.
Just search for like Embiid, and it'll pop up right away on Twitter.
Trust the process. I might start crying right here on the air.
It's a great moment. Great moment.
I'm a crier.
Absolutely great moment for Embiid and the 76ers. And his son is named after his brother who passed away.
Oh, now you're really going to make me cry, bro.
So even more.
What are you doing to me? I'm on the radio.
Even more emotion for you there.
Look at the little guy.
His son is named Arthur.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's cute.
My God.
Very cute kid.
Oh.
Got some cheeks on him. Them cheeks.
Cheeky.
Get the little
Almost
cheekies
makes
going.
you want to have a baby. Almost.
Hopefully Emily's not listening. So we got Nuggets Suns game 3 tonight, Ramie.
The Mackloff magic is beaming when I disrobe.
That will be happening. That is just disturbing. Before we get to Jokic, got a couple things to do. Want to tell you that
soak in Mackloff magic.
Got to tell you that all guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Also, if you're looking for more sports action, Sac Republic FC has you covered as the club hosts another David versus Goliath showdown at Heart Health Park. This is happening May 9th. May 9th at 7:30. Sac Republic FC takes on Major League Soccer's Colorado Rapids in a winner-take-all match with the ticket to advance to the round of 16 in the 2023 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Secure your seat for the match starting at $17 at sacrepublicfc.com/tickets. Okay, so again, we got Nuggets Suns game 3 later tonight, and I thought this was fantastic. Nikola Jokic met with the media yesterday, and here's what happened.
You expect their energy to be up now that they're back in their home court?
No, my friend. I expect they surrender and they will give us
No, my friend. No, my friend. I expect them to pretty much give up. Give up.
Like a true stand-up comic, he said thank you at the end.
Yeah.
That was his way of saying dumb question.
Come out with no energy and lose both games to us. That's what I expect. Thank you.
That's a very, very diplomatic and humorous way to say dumb question.
Thank you. And he gave you the thank you at the end.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will say this about the Joker. He does seem like a guy who teammates love playing alongside.
Has a low-key sense of humor.
Yeah.
One of those dudes.
He just seems like a very, very like good dude who his teammates enjoy his company, and obviously they enjoy what he does on the floor, but he does seem like a guy who gets it.
Speaking of cute moments involving children, did you see when he was running off the court? I don't know which game it was. He was running off the court and they showed his daughter and she pointed at her ring finger.
I did not.
She was looking at her dad and she was pointing at her ring finger and he looked back at her and pointed at the ring finger.
That's great.
She knows the mission.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, Kyle.
It's fantastic. So Joker got jokes. Also, Lakers 1-1 against Golden State in their series after Golden State beat them down last night. And of course, the Lakers, they did have Patrick Beverley at one point this season.
Yes.
Long time ago.
Yes,
it feels like.
Honestly, I forgot till I read this story.
Feels like it's forever ago. But Pat Bev, he was gone at the deadline along with some others. And here was Pat Bev on his podcast, the Pat Bev Pod with Roan, talking about a run-in he had with one Russell Westbrook.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm working out. I'm doing back, arms. Russell Westbrook walks in. Hey, Russie. Russie goes, hey, Pat, Lakers win. I want my ring. Right? I ain't gonna lie, Russ. Boy, we gonna be suited and booted, boy. I'm gonna be right there waiting on that ring. At the White House. I'm going. Who's them? Early. Yeah,
suited and booted.
If they win, you call me whatever you call me wrong. I'm gonna get that ring.
Suited and booted.
Suited and booted.
Pulling up to the White House.
So if you were Pat Bev, would you take pride in having a ring from this year's Lakers team if they won it all?
I don't know about pride, but I want the ring.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I don't know.
Do you want it to have it or do you want it to sell it?
First, I'm gonna wear it for a while. You know what I mean?
You can make bank off that.
If I'm a single dude, I'm wearing it out to the club. I'm wearing it out in the bar. I definitely am.
Dude, that's the worst thing you can do.
Most definitely
Absolutely. I've wore rings before at the club.
No doubt. I'm absolutely
not NBA championship rings.
They were championship rings.
San Francisco Giants.
Those things are like the size of cars.
I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it for all that it's worth. And then once it's been used up,
I would not wear those out, man.
Selling that thing.
I'd be afraid that someone's going to give me a two-piece. I'm going to get tooled up and they're going to steal my ring. I'm good. I'm not going to be rocking that out. No
what about
way.
a decoy? What about a really good decoy?
No, because I'm not going to get caught.
Yeah, then you're getting tooled up for nothing.
In a beatdown for a fake ring.
Fair enough.
If I'm getting my ass beat, I better get a beat for a real ring.
What if they give you one of the rings that like the front office staff get? Like everyone in the organization gets a ring, so they're different sizes.
Whatever it is, Kyle, I'll take it.
I think I'm pretty consistent. I'm not wearing the ring out.
Would you take it though and sell it? Or would you just be like, nah, I'm good. I don't need that. I didn't earn it. I'm taking the ring. If it's free, it's me.
It's a tough question. I'm mad that I asked you now because I have to answer it. It's not fair that you spun it around towards me.
You gotta take it.
I don't know. I guess I'd take it.
Who's turning down free, expensive jewelry?
Yeah, but again, it's not
Exactly.
something that you just wear. You know what I mean? Like it's something that you put in a safe.
You just wear.
Good luck, Ramie. And when they find you on the corner of a street with every bone in your body broken because you decided to wear a championship ring out of
Why
a
do
club.
you think people are just out here wanting to steal championship rings? Like,
oh, it's so crazy. It's so crazy to actually believe that wearing a ring that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
You're running that risk anytime you wear gaudy jewelry, though, aren't you?
But the more gaudy, the more chance.
Sure.
What do you not understand about this?
I understand. I'm
very
just saying,
surprised.
I'm going to run that risk for all the rewards that might come with it. Again,
I'm flummoxed that you guys are surprised by this.
If I was a single man.
If
I'm spoken for.
Last
ladies.
one here. 76ers Celtics just about to get underway in Philly. That series tied 1-1. Al Horford in the series is 2 for 12 from three-point land, and he had this back and forth with the media.
I'm still getting good looks, and I'll continue to shoot them. Even throughout the season, I went through ups and downs. That's just a part of it when you're an elite shooter. You're gonna get them up. You laugh? You don't think I'm an elite shooter?
I do.
My numbers don't support it.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
They do.
Hey, we go through walls. So just staying confident and ready to go.
I do, and they do. I don't know.
That dude cackled. That guy sounded like Verlad. He was cackling. So
I mean, it's like Al Horford is like legitimately one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA this year.
First of all, you got nothing to laugh at. Second of all, a little decorum, little professionalism here.
Pull that dude's credentials. Pull his credentials.
Dude's not just laughing; he's cackling at the thought that Al Horford is an elite shooter.
Unforgivable. Just unforgivable.
Second in the league in three-point percentage this year.
Second in the league in three-point percentage. And he's got this dude cackling in the background. Who invited you there? Laugh track in the back? Sit down. Enough of that. Top spot's coming up.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track, makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills. 500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. CordellCordell.com.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit.
Hello, I'm Frank Cock with Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. Say what you mean and mean what you say is good advice. What do you do when something isn't said at all? Typically, you're left to infer what is next with the information available. The Fed raised rates an additional 0.25% this week. This action was obvious, but less obvious what was not said at the conference. In previous messages, they stated that more tightening may be appropriate. This time, this was left out, possibly inferring a pause in rate hikes. Rising rates can sometimes be good, but what is the purpose? The Fed raises rates offered to lending institutions. When banks receive deposits, they keep some as reserve, but they lend or invest the rest. If requests for withdrawals exceed the reserve, the bank can borrow from the Fed and pay the overnight rate. If the rates banks are charged exceed the rate they can earn on investments or loans, it becomes problematic, and then banks need to liquidate assets. If that isn't an option for the bank, they could be seized like we saw this weekend with First Republic. The hope is the FDIC can make the depositors of these institutions whole upon seizure. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer member SIPC, and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
Guys, fellas, men, do you want a better sex life? Roman has genuine medication that helps you achieve and maintain what you need to perform. Roman has discreet wipes that help you last 4 times longer in bed. Roman has testosterone testing and treatment. Treating low testosterone can help revive your sex drive. So men, what are you waiting for? For a better sex life, go to ro.co/bettersex. Do it today and get 20% off. That's ro.co/bettersex.
When you hear the words, the whole store is on sale, if you're like me, you're thinking, this is worth my attention. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word or two about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now, Naturewood's whole store is on sale during their exceptional home sale. Now your mind is probably doing backflips trying to decide where to start. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Or maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, or accents and accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide home sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stickley, Artisan Home, Stanton, Flex Steel, Omnia, and all the rest of our award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable home sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
KHTK AM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your local sports leader in the 916. This is Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Last night, the Golden State Warriors' adjustments proved to be too much for the Lakers as they steamrolled LA 127-100. Rack up another one because Thursday's victory marks the 16th consecutive time that a team dropped Game 1 of a playoff series at home, bounced back to win Game 2. A blistering Klay Thompson shot 8 of 11 from deep and dropped 30 hot ones. Series tied 1-1 as the California foes have a date at the Crypt tomorrow with tip-off slated for 5:30. Tonight on the playoff docket, Boston skips over to Philly, series also tied 1-1, and Denver heads to the Valley for Game 3 against Phoenix. Nuggets have commanded that series so far, 2-0 on the Suns. And finally, the A's visit the Royals to open up a 3-game series beginning at 5:15, and the Giants are all set to host the Brewers tonight at 7:15.
It's going up tonight.
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. It's 5 o'clock, and we got the top spot dropping right now on Cattles and Ramie.
Did you miss the headline and the top story of the day?
Extra, read all about it.
Don't worry, because we got you covered.
This is how we do.
It's the Cattles and Ramie
Top Spot.
All righty. Fourth and final hour on this Friday. Time for the top spot. And Ramie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mic check.
Mic check.
That's how we start this fourth hour, baby.
Mic check.
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah.
It's hour 4 on Friday.
I got my mic off. All right, so we started this show talking about Domantas Sabonis, and he is extension eligible. Anthony Slater wrote about this in The Athletic during this week, and Domas could sign a contract that would pay him about $27 million in its first year. It could be a 4-year, $120+ million deal, and both of us think it's likely that the Kings are going to offer this deal. We also both think that it's very, very, very likely that Domas will turn the deal down because if he waits, he could get a deal next offseason that would pay him instead of $27 million in the first year, $42 million in the first year. So
and upwards of $60 million over the course of the contract.
So from a financial perspective, it makes all the sense in the world for Domas to wait on the extension. But I do ask everyone listening to the program, if you were the Kings, would you just kind of easily put this offer on the table of the 4 years, $120+ million?
Yeah, in a heartbeat, and hope I can save $60 million because why not? We saw 82 games or 81. I think he missed one game after breaking his hand. We saw 81 games of all NBA performance out of Domas. He finished 7th in the NBA voting? If I can get that guy at a $15 million per year cheaper price tag than I could a year from now, I'm doing it, and I'm not letting 7 games change my mind after what I saw over the course of 81, 82 games from that dude. Not to say that other teams won't try and do what Golden State did. It's copycat league, absolutely. But I have faith that, Domas is just a better player. I told you yesterday, maybe it was Wednesday. It's been a long week. I think something was in Domas's head in that series, and he wasn't himself. He can play better than he did he could have played better than he did against the Warriors.
That might make you concerned about giving him the extension if you think it gets in his head.
No, because I don't think it's something that lingers. I think it's one of those learning lessons of what a playoff series might be like, especially when you're going against the Golden State Warriors and against Draymond Green and everything that comes with it. It's a learning moment for Domas, but it's certainly not stopping me from paying this dude what I was ready to pay him before that 7-game series.
So $27 million a year would make right now would make Domas the 48th highest paid player in the NBA. So if he's willing to take that deal
in a heartbeat,
with the salary cap moving up in future years, you're going to take that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Jalen Brunson at $27 million, DeMar DeRozan at $27 million. De'Aaron at 28. So if Domas was willing to say yes to that deal, yes, you absolutely 100% offer him that deal and you make that deal with him, because even if he takes the drop back, if he declines in play from this year,
he's probably still worth
He's
it.
still a top 35 player at least. And you're talking about he'd be paid again near 50, and the deals are going to go up.
And at the very worst, Nick, and I hate to even go down this road, but at the very worst, if the wheels completely come off this thing,
yes,
it's a very tradable contract. It's a very, very tradable contract when you frame it as the 49th highest. At this moment, it's only going to go down the scale in the ladder. At this moment, he would be the 49th highest paid player in the league.
Devil's advocate, you could say that waiting and seeing how Domas reacts to the Warriors series would be the best thing for the Kings to do, because who knows how he's going to react. Is he going to be more assertive, aggressive next year? Will he work on, stretching the floor more than he did this season? But, if you look at Domas and his ability, even like this year, he was at his best. This was his best year. But when you look at back at past seasons, pretty close to the counting stats that he had this year. I mean, it's not like all of a sudden he blew up. He didn't go from averaging 17 points to 40 points a game. So, I think that would be a pretty good bet. Moving forward, we also wanted to look at this team's bench. You've got Lyles, who is a free agent. You've got TD, who is a free agent. And, of course, Harrison Barnes, he is also a free agent, which could impact the bench because, what are you going to do? Who are you going to bring in to replace HB, et cetera, et cetera. To me, it was interesting. We had Brendan Nunez on the show earlier, Ramie, and we asked him about Trey Lyles, and he said, well, Trey Lyles, it depends on if you bring Sasha Vezenkov in, because if you bring Vezenkov in.
Which is a good point.
I think I'd still entertain the idea of bringing Lyles in.
Really?
Yeah, I'd still entertain the idea of bringing him back. Now, would I? I don't know, but, I think he brings a couple of different things than Vezenkov does. So it really, the question would be, how much would you be willing to give up to, how much money would you be willing to give up to have a third or fourth wing that Lyles would be playing, right? Like at a certain point, do you want to pay $7 million, $8 million if Lyles is now going to be the 9th or 10th guy off the bench?
Right.
That's all going to depend on what else you're spending and where you're spending it.
See, for me, if you're bringing in Vezenkov, because from what I've heard, Nick, he's not exactly a defensive presence, or hasn't been in his time in the Greek league. It's that much more important to me, because Trey Lyles doesn't give you a ton of defense either. It's that much more important to me that whatever salary cap space, whatever slots are left after Vezenkov comes over, is on somebody who can help protect and defend the rim and do a little work for you in the rebounding department, so we don't see a replay of what Wilt Looney did to you over the course of a 7-game series.
By the way, Al Horford just hit a 3. Don't know if the reporter cackled.
Really?
But so when you look at the rest of this roster, backup big is absolutely needed, 100% needed. Need that backup big. You didn't have that backup big this year. I don't think you're going to rely on Alex Len to be that guy. So you've got to find a backup big behind Domas to give you 10, 15 minutes a night. You got to find a 3/4, and I think it's going to be a 4 because I think Keegan's a 3. You got to bring in a 4 if you're not bringing back Harrison Barnes. So it's all kind of the trickle down effect. You got PJ Dozier who could give you a little bit of minutes, possibly Kessler Edwards, but in a perfect world, you and I have discussed this. If we're talking about a team that's going from, the 3-seed playoff team, if you want to build off of that momentum, you've got to upgrade. And, Dozier was a nice player before he got injured. I don't know if you're going to walk in and bank on P.J. Dozier to be a guy that's one of your first 3 or 4 dudes off the bench. So bench is going to be very interesting to see how Monty puts the pieces together.
I didn't really, until I was reading Anthony Slater's sort of off-season preview at The Athletic this morning, Nick, I didn't, even though it's one of those things where we talk about Trey and we talk about, different guys on this roster, but you don't see the whole picture together or at least I didn't, until I saw Anthony talking about it. Between Harrison Barnes, Trey Lyles, and Terrence Davis, you have some scoring to replace on a team where we were already wondering throughout the season, Nick, throughout various parts of the season, where exactly are you, other than Malik Monk, where exactly are you getting firepower and scoring off your bench? And yeah, man, you need to bring back at least bring back those guys, if not improve on those guys to take that next step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you talk about scoring power. Who's going to be the number 2 guy on this team? Is it going to be Domas, or are you looking for somebody else to take care of business? Could it be Keegan? Do you believe that Keegan can be the number 2 scorer night in and night out for this team? And I think he could be, but I don't think he will be, at least for the first half of next year. I think he still has to develop some of these things, his isolation, his creativity offensively, work on the post game. I think he needs to do some of those things before you have somebody who you can walk in every night and say, that guy can give us 20 plus points every night.
I think he could be the number 2 option. The only way it's a good thing though, Nick, is if it's not at the cost or because Domas took a step back. You know what I mean? I want to see the same type of production from Domas and Keegan Murray sort of leapfrog him as your number 2 scoring option. I think I'm with you that maybe it takes until year 3. I don't think he necessarily will be by year 2. I think he definitely could be. And I think it'd go a long way in the Kings take, not just Keegan Murray personally taking a step forward in his production and development. That'd go a long way in the Kings taking a big step forward as far as being a legitimate contender. If Keegan Murray rounds out a top 3 and is the number 2 in that big 3 for the Sacramento Kings.
Couple of texts, couple of YouTube chats as well through the first few hours of the show. Bean Team says Kelly Oubre with about 7 exclamation points. Oubre's good. Oubre's good, gives you some length. He'll play defense when he wants to. He can knock down the 3. He's capable. He gets a little too excited sometimes. He tries to do a little too much at times. That's one of the things that I would say about Kelly Oubre. But he would be somebody on my radar. I wouldn't be going, bananas to get Kelly Oubre, but he'd help. He'd absolutely help this team. So that's a name. The text line, 916-339-1140. If you extend Domas now, it will add more stability. And that goes into the conversation we had, over the last couple of days, Ramie, about the stability, the foundation, and being able to have that structure. And you said about the 3-headed monster, right? You got the general manager, the head coach, and you've got your star
player, yeah.
You could include the second guy, the second star, quote unquote, as Domas. And sure, again, you just have to make certain that Domas is that guy. If you're confident that he is your guy, that he has the ceiling of, if you're going to pay Domas max money, then he's got to be your number 2. And then the whole Keegan conversation, maybe Keegan overcomes that down the road or whatever, but you're looking at Domas as a number 2 guy if you're paying him the max, because you're giving Foxy the max, you give Domas the max. Those are your 2 pillars.
Would it be a bad thing, though, if Keegan Murray, while still on a rookie contract, leapfrog Domas as your number 2 option?
It wouldn't be a bad thing. But eventually you're going to have to pay Keegan.
Yeah.
And then, then you start looking around.
Then things get difficult.
And you say to yourself, well, now we're paying Domas money as a 3rd guy.
But those are good problems to have, because that means that Keegan was that good, and you're probably in the discussion about coming out of the Western Conference for at least a couple of years.
916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone number is 1-800-920-1140. Don't forget youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Give us that thumbs up. Give us that like. It's always appreciated. We'll continue with your reaction also in 90 seconds. Who would you rather have in their prime, LBJ, LeBron, or Steph Curry?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Apparently, Keegan Murray had to spend about $300 every road trip this year to get Chick-fil-A.
My pleasure. Who was eating all that?
Alex Len.
Yeah, just crushing
deli.
Yeah.
Yeah, something tells me
Waffle
they don't just get like a value meal and keep it moving.
Because I'm guessing he buys it for the trip out.
For more of our Chick-fil-A breakdowns, go to SactownSports.com.
Absolutely.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Imagine it's the last ride, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are taking you for a ride. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about treating it with Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
One brings Macloff magic, while the other, we're still trying to figure that out.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
So Jason Ross did Chris and Company today.
Yes, he did.
It's quite the rotation we got going on with Chris Watkins in the midday.
It's not a bad roster.
I wake up, I'm like, who we got today? Oh, Jason Ross.
I have no idea.
Jason Ross's day. And Scooter916 chatted in earlier today in the YouTube channel. I feel like we need to sit down with Jason Ross and Nick Cattles to discuss this feud. Of course, he's talking about the other guy in the morning.
The other guy.
And the other guy's feud with me, apparently.
Wow.
You know.
The guy who saved the Kings is just the other guy.
Just the other guy. Just the other guy.
Single-handedly kept him here. And I guess
Well, it was a community effort, Ramie.
Are you getting tired too? I was tired yesterday.
Friday.
You getting tired?
Were you not picking up on the sarcasm in my voice?
Keep the King's name out your mouth.
I was laying it on pretty thick.
What do you think I was doing?
I'm where Nick was yesterday. We're
No. Hey.
that mic off. It's only 43 more minutes, Kyle. Just 43 more minutes.
We were talking about how much you'd be willing to give up in a trade to bring back a significant piece.
Yes.
And BW in the YouTube chat, because we were talking about Keegan. A lot of people are hoping for a significant improvement to the roster, significant upgrade to the roster this offseason. And some have said, how about a trade? And I said, well, if you want to bring a significant upgrade back, then you're going to have to trade somebody like Keegan Murray. And a lot of people who want to see this significant upgrade are not willing to trade Keegan Murray. And BW responded, said, we got rid of Halliburton. Keegan's not Halliburton, so peace, Keegan Murray. I would say.
I don't think you're saying he's untouchable, right, Nick?
Oh, God, no.
No. Right deal. Make the move.
You know, what I would say is, like, it's a different situation. Like, yeah, you moved on from Halliburton, and Halliburton's a better player than Keegan, but you also had De'Aaron Fox and Davion Mitchell behind Halliburton. So if you traded Hallie, which you did, you still had a guy who ended up being a top 15 to 20 player in the NBA this year. If you traded Keegan, then I think you have to bring back pretty much the same position. Like, if you trade Keegan, you're either bringing back a 3 or a 4. So, that it'd be tougher. It'd be tougher to make that deal, I think, than it was to make the deal for Halliburton. All right, let's get to Lakers-Warriors. Lakers-Warriors tied 1-1 after last night. Golden State took care of business. They were ridiculous from 3. Clay had 30. Earlier this week, Stephen A. was on ESPN, as he is every day, pretty much 18 hours a day. And here's what he had to say.
On there again now.
Yeah, he's just all over the
Stephen
joint.
A's world.
And here he is on LeBron and Curry.
If Steph Curry beats LeBron in this series, and dare I say, wins his 5th NBA championship, we might have to remove LeBron James off of Mount Rushmore and put Steph Curry on it. That's right, I said it.
We're not going to have a Mount Rushmore conversation.
No?
Oh, thank God.
That's not happening. That's not happening. But I do think it's an interesting conversation to
Save
have.
that for the offseason.
I probably would walk out.
I do think it's an interesting question. Now, maybe we should have the Mount Rushmore conversation.
Let's do it.
Dear God, no.
Just get into it right now. I do think it's an interesting conversation because, like, the GOAT conversations drive me nuts. Comparing players from different generations and eras and stuff, it's a futile exercise. Like, you have no idea how LeBron would have played in the 80s. And like, it's just so absurd. It goes back to the JJ Redick, like, oh, Bob Cousy was playing against plumbers or whatever. It's like, yeah, dude, but like, it's an insane conversation for me. But I do think it's interesting to look at this and say, if you were starting a team and these guys were in their prime, if you had Steph Curry and LeBron in their prime, who would you rather start a team with? Would it be LeBron or would it be Steph?
It's LeBron.
Thank you.
It's LeBron all day.
Thank you.
And not to get into the conversation you just said you hate getting into, Nick, there's only one guy that I've ever watched play basketball that I would pick before LeBron to start a team or an organization. He's the second best basketball player I've ever seen, and arguably the best. I know there are people out there, you have a case, okay? I'm not here to have that fight either, Nick. He's the first or second best basketball player ever. And we're sitting here having this discussion about Steph Curry replacing him on some cliche Mount Rushmore that you want to. What are we doing? What is this industry that we work in?
What Stephen A. is doing is accomplishing the goal, which is to
damn it, I fell for it.
Get people all worked up and
for the old banana in the tailpipe
and quote tweet it and like it and tweet it. It's LeBron. It's LeBron, and people, they fall into these traps. Like, when you say something like that, it's like, oh, you're disrespecting Steph Curry. No, it's LeBron. I caught some crap when I talk about Steph Curry because I've said, Steph is not a great defensive player. He's a good team defender, but he's not a great defender. And I still am just boggled that teams do not take advantage of Steph in the switching and get him down in the paint more often. They do a good job of getting off of those switches if Steph gets in those matchups, but like in their prime, that's why I said it, because LeBron doesn't care about defense anymore. He doesn't want to play it. He's not interested in it. But in his prime, if you're talking both ends prime LeBron, it's not even close. It's not even close. And when I look at the game of basketball, I'm always more interested in having a wing than a guard. If you have an all-time great wing versus an all-time great guard, most of the time I'm leaning wing because they have more versatility to their game. So, LeBron can do a lot of things. Now, Steph he's the greatest shooter we've ever seen.
Ever.
And he's got great vision. He's a good passer. Again, he's a good team defender. All of those things are true. But LeBron is a great defender, team defender, one-on-one defender in his prime. He's a great passer. He has great vision. He has many of the things that Steph has with his guard qualities. But then LeBron's 6'8", 240 pounds. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, man. What are we doing?
He's not going to shoot 40% from three, but who cares? Who cares? And John Williams brings up a good point in the YouTube chat. Again, in their prime, LeBron was insanely durable. And that was not the case for Steph.
No.
Steph had all the ankle issues, especially early in his career. And LeBron, up until the last couple of years when he was, he turned 35, 36 years old, up until then, dude was just almost he was an android. He was healthy every night. Like he'd play almost every night. He was insane when it came to durability. So
we really shouldn't be comparing anybody of this era to LeBron James. He is the best player of this era. That we can say, right? You don't want to do the GOAT thing. He's the best player of an era. I think is a pretty easy statement to make. I'm not going out on a limb.
Yeah. You know what I love?
What's that?
Fans that like boo players for doing things that their own players do all the time.
Why? What just happened? What did I miss?
Well, first of all, Marcus Smart got kicked in the groin right here. Boop. And he goes down grabbing his groin. And, of course, people see Marcus on the floor, and they're like, flopper, which I understand.
It's a boy who cried wolf.
But
right?
as we've talked about, Joel Embiid is a 7-foot Marcus Smart when it comes to flopping. So, what again, just like tit for tat. What do we do?
Fandom. That's what that is.
And by the way, the 76ers have like 14 free throws, and the Celtics have 6 in the first quarter. So, looks like we're going to have a 50 free throw game for the 76ers tonight.
So did Marcus Smart get hit in the package?
Just half an hour, man. Just another half hour, Nick.
I like he edited himself. If you guys couldn't catch that.
I caught it.
Yeah.
I caught it. Yeah, I did. I heard it.
There was a funnier word that I couldn't say.
Thank you, Kyle.
If you're looking for more sports action, Republic FC, that's right, our friends, they got you covered as the club hosts another David versus Goliath showdown at Hart Health Park, May 9th, 7:30. Sac Republic FC will take on MLS's Colorado Rapids in a winner-take-all match with a ticket to advance to the round of 16 in the 2023 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Secure your seat for the match starting at $17 at sacrepublicfc.com/tickets. Don't want to miss out on that. Brendan Nunez talked Kings with us earlier this show, and we'll hear some of the best of Nunez coming up in the callback next.
Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Handoff McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feel super, baby! The 5-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
On your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Valley Strong Credit Union.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies will stay mostly cloudy tonight. We will see some rain develop later on tonight, and we'll also have some rain around Saturday morning with some clearing for the afternoon. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, capital, and everything in between. Learn about all the benefits of being a business banking member at valleystrong.com.
Hey, movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, an IMAX 2D and 3D experience.
It's time to save the universe. Let's give the galaxy something to remember us by.
See Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on the largest screen in Sacramento. Visit IMAX.com/Sacramento for tickets and reserved seating. Select showtimes in 3D. Plus, join the free IMAX Directors Club to receive special member pricing on tickets and more at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave telling you something obvious. Our moms, they're so special. What a great surprise to get her something from Amy's Outdoor Living, now in 2 locations, on El Camino near Watt, of course, and El Dorado Hills. They have special gifts for moms in their huge showrooms. See their new outdoor rugs, new home decor items, candles and vases, and of course, their great selection of umbrellas. How about a new set of cushions for her patio? How about one of those Yeti rumblers or a colorful water bottle? And of course, you know, Amy's has the best patio furniture, from patio sets, loungers, fire pits, and of course, barbecues. Now, to salute our moms, Amy is going to pay the sales tax on all in-stock patio furniture. Stop in Amy's Outdoor Living on El Camino near Watt and their new location inside Amy's Ace Hardware in the El Dorado Town Center.
Carrie, is this schedule the most updated?
There's a wedding season rush at Dr. Iona's dental practice.
We're fully booked this week. We can try and squeeze you in next Tuesday.
She needs a dental hygienist to unveil fresh smiles.
How long has 3 been under the UV light?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Last night, the Golden State Warriors' adjustments proved to be too much for the Lakers as they steamrolled LA 127-100. Rack up another one because Thursday's victory marks the 16th consecutive time that a team dropped Game 1 of a playoff series at home, bounced back to win Game 2. A blistering Klay Thompson shot 8 of 11 from deep and dropped 30 hot ones. Series tied 1-1 as the California foes have a date at the Crypt tomorrow with tip-off slated for 5:30. Tonight on the playoff docket, Boston skips over to Philly, series also tied 1-1, and Denver heads to the Valley for Game 3 against Phoenix. Nuggets have commanded that series so far, 2-0 on the Suns. And finally, the A's visit the Royals to open up a 3-game series beginning at 5:15, and the Giants are all set to host the Brewers tonight at 7:15.
It's going up tonight.
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Kyle, please hit that call back.
I'm going to light up these phone lines.
The phone is ringing, and we are checking to see who's on the line.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
News, gossip, a story.
Okay, who's the next victim?
It's the callback.
On Cattles and Ramie.
I remind you, all guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Earlier in the show, we had Brendan Nunez from the Kings Herald join us. And
did he follow you on Twitter? Last week you gave him a hard time because he didn't follow you on Twitter.
He did, but I said he shouldn't have because you can't wait for somebody to give you a hard time and then follow them. I've been following him from day one.
Okay.
So yeah.
Simple mix-up. I don't know why you take it personally.
Well, to me, it's just flat out unacceptable. So stick down your pipe and smoke it. So we asked Brendan Nunez about the opportunities for improvement this offseason for the Kings.
Got to be the youth. I mean, De'Aaron Fox is still young. Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk are still young. Domantas Sabonis is still what I would call young, and Keegan Murray and Davion Mitchell obviously are the most dramatics, the most extremes of just youth on this roster. So I think that and finally in Sacramento having a coaching staff and a front office that seem to be on the same page, they're locked in, that's not a question anymore. Instead, you can just fully commit all your attention into, okay, what are we going to do for the roster? I think that spells well moving forward. I think that expectations are going to make for a very different season next year compared to this year. Obviously, like playoffs and then everything is gravy after that. There's going to be higher expectations next year, and you got to be able to keep climbing from here. But that youth is definitely what I look at the most, and still having some of the ammo to maybe take one more swing.
So when you look at the youth on this team, it's pretty interesting because Huerter has been around the league for a while, right? Malik's been around the league for a while. Foxy obviously has been around for a while. Keegan has only been there for a year, but he was an older quote unquote rookie,
right?
So I just kind of look at this at each level and wonder, how much improvement will we see from each one of these guys? And also, like, what is the role that you're asking them to play, right? Like, Kevin Huerter, I'm sure he can improve his game, but there's also some part of him that he is who he is. Malik Monk, he could certainly improve his decision-making at times. But, we look at the youth of the team and we wonder, like, is everybody going to improve? I don't know if that's reasonable to expect. I certainly expect Keegan to take a step because, again, it was his first year.
Yeah, I mean, as you pointed out, Nick, at the end of the season, Domas's numbers, his line looked similar to what he's averaged throughout his career, at least since he sort of found his footing in the NBA. So, and not to say that he didn't have more impact, that just doesn't show up in a line, but I can't imagine him being much better than he was this year. De'Aaron Fox already took a huge leap. Do we expect another big step or leap from that guy?
Right.
Malik Monk was already almost sixth man of the year. Kevin Huerter was already one of the best three-point shooters in this league.
Domas was insanely efficient.
When you look at this roster, I don't know that outside of Keegan, individually, we can look at a guy and go, oh, yeah, that guy should make a big jump in his development. Collectively, as the chemistry and Mike Brown's game plan and everything else sets in, maybe that's one area where you can improve. But as far as individually and seeing any big leaps from any of these guys, I find it difficult to see also, Nick, outside of Keegan Murray, obviously.
All right. Then we were talking to Brendan Nunez of the Kings Herald about the opportunity to acquire pieces that would make you better and, what you'd be looking at possibly trading, Keegan, Davion, Huerter. Here was Brendan.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you definitely entertain the idea of trading Keegan, but they would want, I'd imagine, an already established star, and I don't know. It just have to be the right spot, is Paul George probably isn't the most appealing with his injury history. Like, I'm not even exactly sure off the top of my head who Keegan would have to be on the table for, maybe a Mikal Bridges or something like that. But I see that as pretty unlikely. I think that Davion's name is intriguing simply because I don't know if he could ever reach his ceiling on Sacramento just with De'Aaron Fox being there. I think Davion sort of needs to be a one, and other teams could find him pretty interesting, and he could have decent value around the league. So he stands out to me. I think a Harrison Barnes-Sidon trade stands out to me. And, don't completely rule out the idea of them trading Kevin Huerter. I'd be pretty surprised if it happened, but there's definitely a world where I think he's a part of conversation.
If you're not trading Keegan, then Davion, to me, is clearly your most valuable asset.
Yeah, probably. I would say so.
So if people were getting mad at me during the season when I said
because you hate Davion Mitchell,
Davion's role is, it makes it tough to believe that he's going to be a guy that's going to give you, 30 minutes a night, 35 minutes a night.
And you hate him.
If you're looking to upgrade the roster, he's one of the guys. He's one of the guys that absolutely would be brought into conversations in your attempt to acquire upgrades and talent.
And you hate him.
No.
Oh.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
I actually really like him, as I said.
Must have it all wrong.
Liked him a lot in college. Like him a lot now. Think he's a starting point guard in the league. But you've got Fox and you've got Monk. Those guys splitting minutes, handling the ball, and then you run your offense through Domas.
I'm not saying I totally disagree with you, and I don't think you hate him, for those who didn't notice my tongue firmly planted in my cheek. But let's say you run into another Steph or any other of these, sharp shooting point guards, a Dame Lillard, who you might run into in a playoff series if Portland gets it together. And I go down the list. Who gets the assignment in a playoff series, Nick? And I know that's a very specialized role.
Coach Brown would say Terrence Davis.
Who would Coach Cattle say?
I think you could find a guard who could defend.
Okay.
I think you can go out there and find somebody that could defend. Pat Beverly, 15 minutes, 20 minutes a night in those kinds of matchups. I think there are guys that you can go out there and take a look at. I'd have to pull up the, free agents this year. I know Pat Bev off the top of my head.
Sure.
There's a free agent.
Sure.
But yeah, I think you and Fox, look, it's also up to Fox. Fox would have to step up and defend those guys, and he did a good job of that for the most part this year. So, I think that's all kind of a part of the conversation. But you've got to look at it and say, what's more important? What are you trading Davion for is the question. Like if you're trading Davion as part of a package that brings you back a starting 4, then that's much more important than the guy who can come off the bench and give you 20 minutes of defense.
Sure. And that's why I said I know that's a very specialized role to have this guy in the holster as the defensive specialist in a playoff series if you run into a sharpshooting guard. But, I mean, we saw, and Nick, we saw how effective it can be and how ineffective not having one of those guys can be in Game 7 when Mike Brown decided to go away from
I was going to say, I mean, look.
Sorry to keep on.
I don't know if you're going to be scrambling.
Opening up that wound for you.
You're going to be scrambling to find somebody who will give you 8 minutes in a playoff game, but I think you can find somebody who can play 8 minutes for you.
I got love for the boy.
Somewhere.
Nick does have love for the boy. He doesn't hate Davion Mitchell. I'm kidding, folks.
KPG
said, who's he hating now?
Yeah, all he does is just, chat 100 times, and everything is just, you stink, this stinks, everything stinks, Friday stinks.
It's Friday, KPG. Cheer up, man.
All of it stinks. And
before the show's up, KPG, tell us one thing you love that makes you happy.
KPG said, just said replace off night with Pat Bev. KPG, listen closely. I said if you trade Davion Mitchell for somebody who could start at the 4, then you could sign somebody who could play defense off the bench like a Pat Bev. You're not replacing Davion Mitchell with just Pat Beverly. You're getting that other piece that is a crucial piece to the operation, which would be a starting 4. So you'd be starting 4 and Pat Bev versus Davion Mitchell.
Not great. KPG, what makes you happy? Tell us on the YouTube.
Nothing.
Give us one
Death
thing.
and sadness. That's
Give
what
us
makes him
one
happy.
thing, KPG.
We'll wrap up the week in other news coming up.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Skies will stay mostly cloudy tonight. We will see some rain develop later on tonight, and we'll also have some rain around Saturday morning with some clearing for the afternoon. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Plumbing, electrical, heating and air, everything that makes your home your home. With Bonnie, you sure got that covered. And right now, get your air conditioner tuned up for just $79. Originally $129. Bonnie.com.
Bonnie. To make room for new merchandise, RC Willey is having a spring clearance event. Thursday through Saturday, enjoy clearance savings on scratch and dent, one-of-a-kind, display models, and discontinued items. Shop the large clearance centers inside all RC Willey locations for savings up to 40% on appliances and save up to 70% on sofas, sectionals, dining, and bedroom sets. Shop early because clearance deals will go quickly. Bring your trucks and trailers, deliveries not available. Don't miss the spring clearance event inside RC Willey.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Selling your home can be stressful. Scott Marsh here to tell you about Bridgehaven Homes. They are a local home buying company that offers homeowners an easier way to sell their home. Let Shane and his team at BridgehavenHomes.com take that stress away. Bridgehaven Homes gives you an all-cash offer for your home, no matter what the condition, within 24 hours. You pick the date you wish to close and sell on your terms. No repairs, no showings, and no realtor commissions. Call 916-299-6040 or bridgehavenhomes.com.
Carrie, is this schedule the most updated?
There's a wedding season rush at Dr. Iona's dental practice.
You're fully booked this week. We can try and squeeze you in next Tuesday.
She needs a dental hygienist to unveil fresh smiles.
How long has 3 been under the UV light?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Carmichael Dave here, welcoming back my dear friends at Fire Wings. 21 different flavors. I had 4 of those 21 Saturday for the game, watching with the family. As always, breaded Malaysian curry. Yeah, you better bet I got that curry. Knocked it out of the park, too. Go to firewings.com to make your order. That's what we did. We ordered 2 hours in advance, picked it up. There's nothing better for the game than Fire Wings. Check out the locations nearest you. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Did you catch all the week's headlines?
Check the headline. Check the headline. Here's the headline. Extra.
Let the fellas fill you in on this week's In Other News.
In other news, to close out the week on this Friday, Cattles and Ramie, as always,
Love it.
We appreciate each and every one of you joining us.
I missed it.
I know. When's the last time we did this?
It's been at least 3 weeks,
Yes,
It's been a while.
right?
because of those Kangs.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Let me start off.
Start off, Nick. Do
Start.
it to it.
I'm going to start off, Ramie.
Do it, Nick. Start off.
Okay.
Let's go.
Ready to start off.
What are we doing? What are we waiting for?
I want to talk about a fight in an airplane. So this is from the River City Post. With unruly passenger incidents at an all-time high, a fight broke out between 2 passengers on a flight from New Orleans to Austin. A video sent to KXAN in Austin shows 2 men swinging at each other on an American Airlines flight.
And they were swinging.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some haymakers.
Haymakers. Jinx.
And other passengers were trying to pull them off of each other. What would you do, by the way, if a fight breaks out? Are you getting involved at all?
Take out my phone and record.
As any responsible citizen should.
Are you at all trying to break up the fight?
Content, baby.
At all?
No.
So you had some passengers trying to pull these guys off each other. Others were trying to keep them away from seated passengers. See, I would do that. I think I would do that. Like if they're like almost like, you just put your, put a forearm in the back and be like, yo, bro, you're about to.
I'm going to protect me and mine.
Yeah.
But.
And others.
Everyone else.
Women and children.
Yeah, women and children. Yeah,
only.
I guess.
Dudes.
If I saw women and children in harm's way, I guess I got to do something.
A passenger told the news station that the incident started, quote, over a seat that could not unrecline, unquote.
Oh, boy.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, why. So the dude, I'm guessing the guy who couldn't unrecline was the one that was annoying the other dude, and the other dude must have threw the first punch.
The other dude was the aggressor, yes.
But like, so if you're the aggressor, what do you expect the guy to do if he can't unrecline the chair?
I would imagine at some point the guy was like, "Man, I can't unrecline the chair.
This is
I don't
American
know what
Airlines
you want
fault,
me to
not
do."
mine.
Right?
Be mad at American Airlines.
You ever recline on a plane?
I usually do not.
I don't even know how to recline on a plane. I'm always looking for it, and I can never find
There's
it.
a little button on the side there.
The one on the armrest?
Yes.
I thought that was just to move the armrest up and down so people can pass through the aisle freely. No?
Ramie's only flown like a handful of times.
Yeah, it hasn't been that many. Not as many as
So
most.
he's still trying to catch on to this stuff.
I also recently learned your little head pillow thing that they have there.
I saw this. I saw that.
It could curve
around your head.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're not flopping all over the place. You don't need that big neck pillow.
Took me a while to
Do you
get
really
there.
flop that much when you're flying?
I have just, when I fall asleep, I'm just,
I was today years
I'm
old
a
when I
rag
learned
doll.
this.
Oh, see, I can't fall asleep on a plane.
Oh, I will.
Oh,
I will
yeah.
sleep on a plane.
Yes.
I
That's
will
my
sleep
goal.
on a plane.
I
will
want to
eat
be
on a
asleep.
plane. I will drink on a plane. I will fight on a plane.
Snakes on a plane.
Snakes
Thank
on
you.
a mother plane. No, so apparently the two men were detained and the flight landed in Austin at 4:30.
This is happening a lot for a lot of stupid reasons. These people fighting on planes. And my question is, why has it never happened on a plane I'm on so I can get that sweet, sweet viral video? You know what I mean? Why can't this happen?
That's why. Because the life, the karma is telling you that you don't deserve to get that sweet video because you're wanting it so badly.
Priorities.
If you stopped wanting it so badly, randomly you'll have a dude who's like, you can't recline your chair. You can't unrecline your chair. I'm just thinking about the other guy. Like, if I'm that guy who can't unrecline, I'm like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Maybe the universe is waiting for someone to try and fight an MMA fighter,
Oh,
and
that
then
would be
Ramie will get that
glorious.
video.
That would be outstanding.
Like, just think about this for a minute. What is fighting the guy? How is that going to help?
Fighting almost never helps.
Unreclining the chair.
Fighting, you're always.
What do you think you're going to hit him and the chair's going to go, oh, sorry, and then unrecline itself?
This.
Like, anyway. Ramie, what do you got?
My turn?
Yeah.
On the evening of Monday, May 1st, about an hour southeast of Pittsburgh, a woman named Chloe Stein got off work, texted her boyfriend. She'd been pulled over by police, and then she went silent, and no one was able to reach her.
Uh-oh.
The following day, her car was found, abandoned, and the cops had no record of anyone stopping her.
This doesn't sound great.
So a massive search began, complete with volunteers, police, a K-9 team, and helicopter.
I'd be more worried if you were Chris Ralad, given off the history of the
Yes.
stories that he tells on the midday show.
Posts took off across social media, sharing her image in hopes someone would have a tip. Thankfully, by Tuesday night, authorities located Stein in the woods not far from her house, safe and unharmed. She told police she'd been taken by a masked man with a gun the night before, but that he'd brought her back to the area and let her go. The reality, though, she had voluntarily parked her car on the side of the road the night before, walked a few miles, and hid out. Why? She did not want her parents to know she dropped out of Penn State University a year and a half ago.
Well, hold on. 18 months? She left the school 18
Police
months
believe
ago.
Stein may have plotted her fake disappearance because she had dropped out of college. She had previously been a student at Penn State University, but police said she hasn't been enrolled for about a year and a half. Stein's college situation was probably the number one driving force for the whole scenario. Police trooper Steve Lamani told WTAE the fact she hadn't been in college for almost 2 years, her circle had believed she was graduating in a matter of 2 to 3 days.
Oh, my God. So she waited, dude. And then she was like,
and then she panicked.
The jig is up.
She was like, what do I do? What do I do? I fake a kidnapping. That's what I do. That's
I love that movie Gone Girl and the book. Excellent book, too, and I could just smell it.
What
the way
is-
you were going with this case.
What was her
Oh.
end game? What was her end game that she would get found and everybody would be so happy she was found that she could just oh, by the way, I'm not graduating, guys. Like
apparently so.
What did she think? How did this get her out of the shame of dropping out a year and a half ago and not telling anyone?
They're like, wait a minute. You weren't kidnapped? Thank God. Oh, my God.
So, by the way, Mom and Dad, I dropped out of school a year and a half ago.
Yeah. Oh, by the way. So good news, I wasn't kidnapped. Bad news, I dropped out of school 18 months ago.
I do want to get to Simone's story.
Okay.
This was one I was thinking about doing. Simone, go.
Oh, my goodness. This one took me by storm on Twitter. Have you guys heard about all this pasta mystery going on in New Jersey?
I have not.
It's a fabulous story. 500 pounds of pasta mysteriously dumped in the woods of a New Jersey town. Are you interested, Nicholas?
Humongous mounds of spaghetti.
I wish, we could
imagine just
show
like
the pictures.
Here, look at I have one picture of a mound of spaghetti here on my computer.
So good.
Look at that.
What is going on?
500 pounds.
500 pounds.
500 pounds.
I mean, the mayor is not distressed. It's not hazardous. They do have prime suspects. Al Dente and his pal Linguini.
Oh, God.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
That was it. Wrote that down.
That's what we were waiting for, Ramie? That's what you couldn't wait for?
I just found the story fascinating.
No, that was my little edge there. I'm sorry.
Did you see the update, Simone?
No, tell me.
They caught the perpetrators.
Uh-oh.
Neighbors said that the oodles of noodles came from a nearby home that is up for sale. A military veteran moving out of his mother's home after her death seemingly found a stockpile of old food that she had kept in the house. I mean, I really feel like I was just trying to clear out his parents' house, and they were probably stocked up from COVID, said neighbor Keith Ross, saying it's a generational thing. My parents always had a cupboard full of cans and pasta just to be safe.
We're talking about hundreds of pounds.
500 to be exact.
500 pounds of pasta.
Maybe it was kept in the garage or something.
That's a lot of pasta to just. How do you store that much pasta?
I don't know.
So many possibilities.
They say it was dry when it was put out there, but it rained over days, and so it absorbed the water, and eventually, which makes it expand, and
I just wish we took it to a food bank. Was it expired?
No, I mean it was sitting in a forest. Simone, who wants to?
No,
eat that?
I mean before that.
Oh,
Jesus.
okay, all right.
At the house.
Robbie's repurposing the
Sorry.
I'm saying, God. Everyone deserves good, clean, healthy food.
Thank you.
I would have ate it.
It's an important message.
All right. Thanks to Cal. Thanks to Simone. Good job. Great stuff from you, Ramie, as well this week.
Thank you, sir.
Back on Monday. Everybody have a great weekend. Till then, it's Cattles and Ramie on Sactown Sports.
Go.
Night, so the light from the sun would not burn me on my bum when I shoot the moon. High jump the broom like a preemie out the womb. My partner yelling too soon. Don't do it. Reconsider. Read some living. Sure on the subject. You sure? You know we got your back like a rat. Tick if that do you dirty. We'll wipe her out as in detergent. Now hurry, go on to the altar. I know you ain't a. Remember what I taught you. Keep your heart. 3 stacks. Keep your heart. Hey, keep your heart. 3 stacks. Keep your heart. Man, these girls are smart. 3 stacks. These girls are smart. Play your part. Play your part.